You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Matt Olson drives it out to center. Thomas is back. Is it above the yellow line? It is, and it's a solo homer for Matt Olson to get the party started in the desert on this Thursday night.
Damon goes the other way, and it's fair. There's the throw to second, and he made it.
Deflected on that, Hurrdat's going to save the rebound. He scores! Fraserman!
Rust curls it right wing. Chinikov with speed attacks the net. He scores! Little backhand beauty from Igor Chinikov.
Grant rolls. High Todd. Three-pointer for the kid.
Good movement out the basketball. Jenkins. Over to Robinson. Toss it up. Oh, no. Race up, gonna be trouble.
The door is open. Otter Hawk has the ball. It's going up. He got fouled from three-point range. He'll get three. Looking to add to that right here. Green right to the rack.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How are we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I am not okay.
Why aren't you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I just was,
Just singing.
well, I didn't know what time you got out of there last night.
I'm going to be honest. I left when the live auction started.
Did you?
Yeah.
45, 55, 75, 85, 95.
So I stayed
So,
for all the award presentations.
was Mr. Rick Grubaugh?
I stayed.
Does he not have a great head of lettuce?
He does. And great auctioneering voice.
I think he's done that a time or 20,000.
I wasn't going to buy anything. So I was like, well, it's probably time for me to go.
Yeah, I forgot they swiped my card when I came in case I wanted to bid on any auction items. So I kept getting these updates, and I was like, did I get hacked?
Yeah, I was. I passed when I registered or when I checked in. I was like, no, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the event?
Yeah, it was. It was a good time.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I was a little bummed. I wanted to meet Coach Barthel and Coach Mosey. But
how about Coach Mosey's drip?
dude, so that guy's gonna be a head coach one day, right?
Cooler than a fan, isn't he?
Like, I don't know. He just has like that presence about him. I was really impressed.
He's
So was everybody at my table, by the way, too.
so there's like 3 or 4 guys that are now he's on the staff and he's not non-essential, but he's not one of the guys that's talked about a ton.
Yeah.
And
Because he's not like a main position coach.
He's one of the guys that the kids will that the men will tell you that they get down with.
Yeah.
Right. Like I told like that story that I told.
all about Caleb.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
He's not alone. And I called him before. This is back when we were at the sports bar. It was like, I'm telling you, it's like 6'10".
Mhm.
I would be like, hey man, I appreciate you investing in other people's kids, right? Like that's really what this is about. So yeah, he's his wife is super cool, and I
like Isaiah. I mean, that's like my dude.
yeah, I know. So I was gonna talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But we got to talking about other things. I was like, yeah, my partner, man, he's kind of a fanboy of Ike.
Yeah. He runs like he's trying to prove everybody in the world wrong. And I like that.
He carries himself like that.
Yeah. Like if you're going to be great, you got to have a little bit of that FU in you.
Yeah. There's a good chance he could win the punt return job.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know what I think Mackay has the lead, obviously, in the running back room, but
they're different though.
Yeah, they're different backs.
They're different. They're different kind of backs.
I think the carry distribution is going to be fascinating.
So I believe, at least early on, I believe that love is the answer.
It's a good jam.
Love will find a way.
Unbelievable.
It actually won't. Hey,
what about like Kevin Love? Will he find a way?
I don't know. How's he doing? How are things?
Well, he's doing all right. He's got a ring.
That's not the first level. I thought you'd think Jeremiah. He's the one that's hot.
Yeah,
What about Buddy?
I honestly went Jordan before I went Jeremiah.
Jordan Love?
Yeah.
What about Buddy?
Buddy Love? I don't know Buddy Love. Who's Buddy Love?
Have you not seen The Nutty Professor?
I don't think I have actually.
Well, that's because you hate on Eddie Murphy.
You
hate Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I'm not an Eddie Murphy guy.
Oh yeah, Buddy Love. He was like Team Swagalicious.
Yeah, there's apparently a lot of
Buddy Love. Dude Love was a wrestler.
There's a bunch of pajama products that are named Buddy Love, so we got to be careful here what we're googling.
Wait, there are?
Yeah, gotta be careful what we're googling here on the work Wi-Fi.
Buddy Love, Nutty Professor.
Yeah, no, I found it, but
Okay.
yes, I don't.
Shane, did you send me a link?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I got to see Wyatt for a second last night.
Dude, how cute is his daughter?
I would say, yeah.
Wait, she made me something.
Did she?
So she kept telling me, she said, I put something in your bag. I put something in your bag. I don't know where she put it. Could be anything. She brought like cartoon drawing station with her.
Listen, you got to stay entertained, you know?
Hey, if there were cameras out there, how long do you think I could not find my.
Is that it?
Yeah. It says. I can't read that.
Looks like we got a building here.
I can't read. Something to Damon. Her name, yeah. Oh, she's so cute.
To Damon.
And she made a little building.
Yeah.
Now she's lucky I found this in this book bag.
Alex says it's a crypto voucher.
Poor Jamal Rhule. I gotta hit him up. I gotta get at him as soon as we get off the show.
Yeah. Did he get hacked?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Jamal.
Yeah. Rhule got hacked. I could not. I knew my keys were somewhere because my car started.
Mm-hmm.
See, he's at it again.
What is it, Austin?
Now, why was that?
I can't exist. I can't laugh.
By the way, welcome to the big chair. We're in trouble today because
No, listen.
you're naughty.
This is my chair. Everyone else just happens to sit in it.
So what happens when Rico's here? Do you just doing him a solid?
I'm just trying to push along, our young talent here.
So
at
why
Hurrdat
are you
Sports.
laughing at me?
Watch it.
Have you? Oh, there he is. Oh, there's that
Voice of God.
Oh God, you there?
It's me, Margaret.
Did you read that?
I'm aware of it culturally.
I was gonna maybe talk about you. No judgment, though. No judgment.
I haven't read it. I'm just like,
no judgment.
as a joke, I'm aware of it.
To each his own.
Yeah.
So my car
chicken
is
soup for the soul
continually
guy.
dinging at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, forget it. It's early. We're at Hurrdat. No, because as you know, it's because I walked in like 6:56.
Mhm.
But I couldn't get in the building.
Oh no.
So I was like, damn it.
You just like holding your backpack up to the sensor.
Yeah, but it didn't work. So I didn't think my keys were in there. So I go back.
The car. Yeah.
And I'm rummaging. I mean, like, I'm surprised I didn't have a warm spot in my pants. Like, I was on my knees at one point. Like, I know, right? In the park. I'm just telling you this because I feel like we're in a safe spot, but I should know better because we're never going to be in a
tree
safe
of trust.
No.
Tree of trust.
Stuff from years ago is still coming up in the Discord. That place is going to be an absolute nightmare. I can't outrun anything in that place. So I did this probably 3 times.
Going back and forth?
Yeah. So it's funny you said that with the backpack because this is what I'm doing because I don't want to rummage because I have my drink and I have my head. And so I'm going like this along the door.
Yeah, trying to.
And I'm like, God, I wonder if anybody's watching me. So I go back to the car for the 3rd time. I was like, man, this thing's got to be on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm under there just crushing my nails, running into things. And I get super frustrated. And I think people that would be watching me think I'm like pissed at my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm doing. I'm like
trying to like hear if it's in there.
I'm like, I know. And I'm talking. I'm like, I know you're in here. I know you're in here. Like, that's what I'm doing. I was like, I need to chill the flip out. Short story long. I put them in the secret pouch last night.
Oh,
because I kept my backpack at the table.
Yeah, so you wouldn't lose them.
So I wouldn't lose it.
And then you lost them.
Yeah. So I found my keys. I just wanted to see you reenact me talking to my bag. That's all.
I think there's
This is so cute. Zoe might be jealous though.
Let me see. I'm gonna be honest. We could. So what's her name? Eva.
Yeah.
I mean, we could use a little work on spacing.
Dude, did you?
You
she
know?
wore a tiara.
And then, yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Like, live your life, I appreciate kind of just
She walked in. It's fairly intimate. I mean, that thing was star-studded.
Yeah.
He comes strolling in. She's his date, and she 2 minutes into being in the little. Would you call that a foyer? What was the little?
I think so. The foyer.
Every time I hear foyer, I think of the suspect on Criminal Minds.
Can't help you.
It's Foyette.
Oh.
And he was Hotch's nemesis.
Evan Fournier?
No, kind of overrated. But, I mean, the Orlando Magic where a lot of people go to die.
He does have one of the funniest, lines in all of history now, though. Well, a couple of them. Number one, his, Twitter bio is don't Google my name because apparently it's, a really gross term for something. And then...
How would you know that?
Because that's a thing. It's
no. Do you follow him on how
No, it's become an NBA meme. Is the don't Google me is his nickname.
Okay.
And then he also is the guy in the gold medal documentary. That's they only play together for 2 weeks a year. We've been playing together for a decade. And then Kevin Durant's is all that chemistry going to help you guard Steph? That's my favorite.
That's how that's KD's exact delivery too.
That's the only reason I don't hate on KD more is because he knows. He obviously knows that Steph is that MFer. He's that. He doesn't say anyone else's name. He's he doesn't say himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't say Braun. He goes, that chemistry gonna help you guard Steph?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's what, KD?
With the little kinky bad hair.
It's not. It did not help them guard Steph. That comment aged so well with the way that game ended.
Yeah, because he was the saving grace.
They literally called on the French broadcast. They literally call him the devil.
Yeah. He went ham.
Yeah,
he was about the only one that played worth it.
They're like, Curry is the devil.
So anywho,
Fourier, yes.
She walked in like she kind of ran the place, and she's an itty bitty little thing.
She is. She's real small. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I think it's bad with Zoe.
Oh, sure.
He's screwed. I mean, absolutely screwed. Because she's already got that presence.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't give a what.
Nope.
She's just
bellied up to the table. Listen, this is. I'm going to reenact it.
So I'm doing my thing.
She can't be but 4 or 5. She's got
she's young. She's
got this giant ass Shirley Temple Austin. She's sitting at the table. It's darn near dark in there because it's kind of this ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
The glass is bigger than her forearm. I said, "Oh my God, you got a Shirley Temple?" She's like, "Yeah." This is how she takes her straw. I mean, like an OG. She's like, "Yeah."
Just pushing the ice down.
Yeah, like she's been here before. I said, "Oh."
So yeah, I gotta get the consistency in my drink, right?
Mess with it. I mean, like an OG. You know how you get for Austin, it would be like a seltzer or a wine cooler. So you probably, but let's say you're stirring your ice because it's a little.
It's a twisted tea for sure. He is a twisted tea guy.
Yeah, I could do twisted tea.
Huh?
We know.
I'm sorry. What
you do?
I can do twisted tea. Nothing wrong.
Half lights, right? Is that that's the
move?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's stop.
Light on the sugar, for this slim figure.
Oh God.
Well, he's got 400 miles to run this month, so he's got.
Might need the sugar though.
It's like a guy that wants to shake up the drink correctly because the good stuff's sitting on the bottom.
Well, it's true. All the grenadine goes to the bottom of that Shirley Temple. You gotta keep that mixture right.
There's no way she went to bed. I mean, the thing was, I'm telling you, is the size of her. It was a big glass.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of sugar for a little kid.
So you like the event?
Yeah, no, it was good.
It's hard not to like Weejen, isn't it? It's not for you.
Nah, I was fine.
He is tiny.
He is. He's
for as good as Caden Weejen is.
If he's as tall as me, it's not by much. He might be a little shorter. He's not big. He's big, but he's not.
Was Tim Dwight giving you PJ Fleck vibes?
A little, yeah. That's a good call. He was giving me other vibes, but
my man was high strung.
At least one of those words.
He was 10-4, 10-500 meter in the Big Ten.
Incredibly fast. I remember.
He's faster than that, but
I remember Tim Dwight in the NFL. I remember,
and he's a little guy.
Yeah, he's not big. He's smaller than Caden.
I just was happy that when they ran the highlights,
yeah,
He was a big pads guy.
Yeah, well,
And
a lot of people were.
Yeah,
In the
late.
90s. They were.
They were.
The big pads was the thing.
Oh, don't you know?
I used to think that everybody in the 90s was huge just because I didn't realize the pads were a different size.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are these dudes just enormous? And I was like, oh, no, they're just wearing 18-inch tall pads.
It's not cool, Ravi.
What's not cool?
I think that it was just the style, and you should cut me some slack.
I'm not hating on it. I just didn't understand that when I was younger that that wasn't all like the size that I thought. For instance, like Carell Buckhalter was compared to what he actually is.
Yeah. Seabuck, that's a good example because he's fairly slight.
Yeah, he's not a big guy, but the pads were enormous.
Especially, and then he got to wear the baby pads in Philly.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, maybe it's like, were those pads slowing you down there, bud? Were they causing some?
It was a ting.
Causing some of those issues.
It was a ting.
Or then there's Dan Alexander, who actually was that big and then looked bigger.
He's like old blockhead.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Alexander looked like a professional wrestler out there. He was just like, and I was like, what is happening?
I used to call him Cro-Magnon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That ledge
at the brow.
You get shade under that thing. Not even gonna kid you.
I'm just saying we need to work on some of the proportions on this building. I don't think that would pass code.
Dude, she's so stinking cute. You
better
give her a little grace. What was your highlight of the night?
I mean, I just like seeing everybody.
Yeah.
It's good to hang out with people and to talk to a bunch of people you don't see and like once a year basically. But no, I thought aside from that, I thought Jabbar Mosey's he only talked for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and he was towards the end.
Yeah, he was good though. Like everybody, I was sitting next to.
I should shoot him a message, man.
I was sitting next to Mustache Adam, who you know.
So you know what's funny?
Yeah,
because I went back and looked at his avatar with the twisty one.
Yeah,
he doesn't even look like the same person.
No, yeah, he doesn't have he has normal facial hair now. He just kind of got the scruff, right?
Yeah.
And then our friend Josh from Peerless.
Yeah.
And super cool dudes. But so they were sitting at our table, and
I kind of liked his suit game.
Immediately, yeah, they both looked great.
Yeah.
Immediately, we all turned to each other and were like, "Oh God, that guy's incredible."
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know that a lot of people knew. Maybe they did, and I just missed it. I don't know that a lot of people knew of his title as assistant head coach. I think that kind of took a lot of people by surprise. Mm-hmm. And I think it's this offseason, right? Like that's recent.
Yeah, new.
And so they kind of looked at me and they're like, oh, I didn't realize that was his title. And I was like, yeah, I think it just happened over the offseason. But then they heard him talk and they're like, oh, I get it. Like immediately they were blown away. And so was I. I thought he was phenomenal.
Good dude.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell. Like that's a dude that cares about what he does, that cares about the people he works with, and like I said, I mean, absolutely going to be a head coach someday.
The funny thing about that is, like, I felt like for what it was, and it continues to grow, like it's actually getting better.
Yeah,
yeah, and I know it stresses Severe the heck out. So,
oh yeah,
I'm happy he can rest a little bit now.
Yeah, he can sleep a couple days now.
Yeah, I don't know. He's going to worry about feedback and stuff like that. But
sure,
in a couple of days, like this weekend,
it was. I mean, it's turned into a very big event.
Yeah,
I liked the venue though.
Well, that thing is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it felt. No shade to Baxter, who held us. This is my third year going, so I don't have the whole history. But Baxter was a great venue. It felt like it sort of elevated the like sort of class of the event. Like it's just a different feeling being in an arena.
It's a good spot
versus down at the Steel House, which I like. I like Baxter Arena quite a bit, but it just is a different feel for an event like this, which is it's pretty formal. I mean, people dress pretty formally for it.
Yeah, it's nice,
But it was a good event. I thought you did a good job.
Thank you.
I know it's not your favorite thing in the world, but
I keep it. It's so easy now. I can just I can screw up an introduction and then go back and get it.
Yeah. Then
I tried to make that my best introduction. I was getting ready to skip right to the goddamn Jet Awards, and I forgot about Coach Mosey. I said, at least we're boys.
Yeah.
So you got your man crush. You continue your man crush on Coach Barthel. I was going to try to get him to speak to you. That's the first time. So I wanted to introduce him to Mike Rozier. And their affinity for one another for two things. Number one, just that EJ's the running backs coach.
Yeah. Well, they're from similar parts of the country, right?
Then that locked it up, right? 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
And they chopped it up like they were besties. And my heart swelled because EJ's tough.
Yeah.
Right? Buttoned up. But you could tell he had a little fanboy in him over Money Mike.
Yeah.
Because you're around Rozier, and it's like, number one, he's not near as big as you think.
Nope.
Number two, he's really silly.
Is
so
he?
it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Literally the only thing I know about Mike Rozier is
his suits and the fedora.
Yeah, is the getup. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
I just like that he dresses the same way for the Jet Award that he does for the Heisman. Like that's just how he goes.
That's Mike.
That's just how he rolls, and I'm good with that. I did think it was who was it that introduced you as the 1986 Orange Bowl MVP?
Oh, my man Patrick Alston.
It's all right. I was like, hey, don't age my guy like that.
It's all right. Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, he's really good natured too.
Yeah.
Like,
no, he seems like it. I didn't want to kill him for it, but I was like, don't age my guy.
Nah. And I thought he was talking about somebody else, which was why I was about 60 seconds late getting up there.
You're like 86. Who else we got here?
I'm like 86.
Who else we got here at one Orange Bowl MVP?
I'm like, shoot, we got beat in the Fiesta by Jamie Morris in Michigan. Oh, he ain't talking about.
I'll say, who was in the 1986 Orange Bowl?
No, so they played in the Fiesta. I think they were in the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. I think they played Michigan.
Was it the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl at the time?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dude, I'm a nerd.
It was 86 Orange Bowl was Penn State, Oklahoma.
Yeah, but who did Nebraska? What bowl game was Nebraska in?
Let's see. 1986 Nebraska bowl game. It was the Fiesta Bowl, and they lost to Michigan.
Thank you.
Well done.
I have exercised the demons. I can't get into my email, so who knows if I'm in the stream or not.
You are not. It doesn't appear. That's okay.
I can't read the chat
comments.
I can read just.
I
fine.
can't read.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
Did you go home and watch your beloved Blue Jays?
I did. Yeah. It in the first 12 minutes really looked like they had not played basketball in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, how about the points per possession they were giving up?
Yeah, not great.
AJ, how did you feel about your Blue Jay shoot around versus how the game actually unfolded? Do you feel like you were a good Berean, did a lot of your homework?
I didn't do any homework. I'm an adult.
Do you call it something else?
Well, all right.
In the business, we call that prep.
Oh, did you?
How was your prep?
Did you do your prep?
Prep was low. I went off of straight vibes.
Yeah, vibes.
It's the crown.
No, I get it.
Hey, Rutgers, not great.
I just kept saying, I was like, look at the distance between these two teams. Like, I mean, all the metrics, everything was pretty significant. Now the game didn't start that way, but yeah, a little bit.
So
different.
can you believe Peichel's downward spiral started with having two of the best players in program history?
What do we always talk about, though?
Remember when Rutgers was like this?
Going to Piscataway was like a house of horrors.
They were like the Dodgers.
Yeah.
This plucky, this plucky little upstart program, and then he gets a couple of studs, and it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the Dodgers. I say they were like the Lakers last year, where they got a couple of studs and they still can't figure anything out.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I would say there's not a good comp for the Dodgers because the Dodgers just win everything after they buy everybody. So
that's okay. That's not true.
Who on the team was homegrown?
Oh, let's not get into the data.
Okay, take that for data.
Wait, are you that dude? Are you a data guy? I'm
just doing the Fizdale thing.
Okay.
I think Fizdale said data.
Yeah, that guy is again
unemployed, I think.
Weird for a guy that was on the cusp of being a sensational coach.
He was I'm gonna be honest, I blame John Morant for that.
Dude, apparently John Morant's not good at basketball anymore.
Or good at
knock it off.
Being a teammate? Being a good teammate? Is that fair?
I don't know. Hey, can I re-grip this?
Yeah, if you want to. I don't care.
I'm a tape guy.
That's fine. I like the fancier grips, but you can do whatever you want.
Make it grippy, Damon.
I mean, it's an alien grip. Those are nice grips.
I'm a cross kind of nodule.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Because it has to fit both hands. It has to fit both ways when I go right or
switch it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
If that's okay.
I don't. Yeah, it's cool.
Thank you.
I can't imagine the next time I'm going to use that. So
I'm going to see what it's got left in it.
I haven't used it a ton, so it should have some juice left.
We'll see. I like it. 3330.
That's a Beaser. So that
big barrel.
That thing's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Beasers were one of the first like certifications to try and make the bats a little bit more uniform. And I'll be honest, it was pretty loosey-goosey with those regulations back in the Beaser days.
So can I get back to some before we get too far off the deal? So AJ, considering you're like Spencer for hire and you bed hop from time to time.
I like to think I'm more like Deadshot, the DC villain.
Good sneaky pull.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of Injustice 2.
Are you a gamer?
No, God no. I have an Xbox 360. I still play NCAA 14. That's the only game I have time for.
Honestly,
so I know I'm bad.
I kind of like the old school ones better.
Like I can say just about anything.
Yeah.
But are you surprised by anything this dude ever says? It's like almost anything and everything you say, you could say that's on brand.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter what it is.
There's one thing I can't say, but it's just because of who I am.
What's that?
I'd rather not say.
Can you mouth it? I just want to know if he's actually talking about what I think he's talking about.
He is. That's yes.
What are you guys talking about?
I'm talking about Tyrone.
Well, a version of. Yeah, we were all on the same page. Yeah, you can't say that.
Good to know. Good to know. I was going to ask on my birthday, so I'm glad that I just know.
DB, my gift. Have you seen? I think I said it to you. There's like a skit where there is a
or Austin acts like a nice person.
No, there's a person that looks a little bit more like you. You're so selling passes out of his trunk to say a certain word to people who are typically not allowed to say that word. And he's just literally got these physical tickets he's selling to people like they're raffle tickets. And some guy comes up to him. He's like, all right, yeah, how many do you need? And he's like, first he goes, hey, what do you plan on using them for? Like singing rap songs in your car? Or, and he's like, you're not like a pointy hat guy, are you? And they're like, no. And he goes, all right, how many do you need? And he goes like, I don't know, like 50? And he goes, 50? What do you need 50 for?
Wait, whose dialect?
That's the white guy. See, threw you off. No. I'm trying to do the voice that the guy did.
Shane, can you resend the link, please, before I look? Well, I don't know why my eyes are watering.
If I'm doing a direct impression, it's not like racist stereotyping. I'm not like, hey, this black guy sounds like this. That's what the dude in the video sounded like.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that. Anytime we get a chance to inject race, like Austin's all in.
That's just simply not true. That is. As a proud white Catholic, I would never want race to be a part of that conversation.
Listen, so I thought of you.
Got to be careful when you start a sentence as a proud white. You just got to be careful.
So
I have Catholics who are good. It's Good Friday.
I'm telling you, I can't shake you because I got in the car leaving the Jet Awards and I wanted to listen to the pregame. So I had to turn it on the other channel. And there was an advertisement for a company. And if you wanted to get ready for the holidays, Easter, do you know what item was on their selection that you could order from them? We just talked about it. I don't think you had heard of it.
Okay.
Oh, it must be testosterone for Rico. Perfect for the Easter holiday.
That'd be some protein, wouldn't it?
He is risen. Oh, you can feel it.
Oh, happy Easter. He's wild. Austin's crying, I think.
Ham balls.
I'm just hearing all the Easter Sunday psalms in my head.
I'm talking about protein for Easter. Dude said test.
Ham balls.
Roll away the stone.
It was ham balls. And I was like, see, I'm not crazy.
Wait, you heard a commercial for
Yes.
ham balls?
They gave 3 proteins, said whether you're looking for this or this, and we've got ham balls. Oh, yeah.
Was this like a grocery store?
No.
Like a restaurant?
It's a very popular company that does advertisements on that channel.
Ham balls?
And I'm at 14th and coming, and nope. I was like, see?
Yep.
People do eat ham balls. That's what I was gonna say.
Sure.
Did
Knock
coming
off,
throw you
Rico.
off?
Not. I'm so afraid because I'm around children. I don't want to say anything. That's where we're at with this thing. But anyway, go Jays.
So Creighton won last night.
Go Jays. It's Rico's
Can that
fault.
be our Creighton segment? We can just take a break right now. We'll just let
Well, we did
someone
talk
on the podcast be like, "Oh yeah, no, the Creighton Crown recap. That'll be good."
We did talk about.
I like Max Quarterzick.
Catholicism there, so I think that counts. Creighton Catholic University.
I don't think that counts.
You sure?
Yes.
I'll be honest. I'm out on the quarter zips. I'm tired of it. Go back to suits. Go back to suits.
What?
I think quarter zips are stupid. You're an adult. You're a professional.
What
Wear
is
a
this?
suit.
Hot take hour?
No, just wear a suit, man. What are we doing? I yelled at, not yelled at, all the young Gen Z, Gen Alphas. I don't know how old they are.
Dude, they were living their best life yesterday. I have no idea what they were doing, but they had to close the door, and I was like, "Are we not working, or is this just different?"
It's a different vibe, But
Clearly,
I was having a conversation with them. I was like, "Listen, guys, just as we were talking about how people dress themselves and things like that." And I was like, "Listen, I get we have a casual work environment. I'm not hating on you for that.
There's not a person in there that owns a suit. There's no way."
So this. I was like, "Listen, when you're going to functions, events, anything like that, I was like, you are, especially for guys, because for girls it's harder with like the different types of dresses and whatever, or women, I guess. But for dudes, it's super easy. Just wear a suit. Just wear a suit, because nobody's ever been like, you look stupid in a suit. Nobody. I mean, in general, not like a specific person doesn't necessarily look good in a suit. But like if you wear a suit somewhere and you're overdressed, nobody cares. Like nobody's mad at you. You lose the tie. It's really easy to casual up a little bit. Not a big deal. If you go somewhere where everybody else is wearing a suit and you're like in jeans and like a polo, you look like an idiot. So I was like, just be a little overdressed. It's fine. And if anybody says anything, you're like, "Oh, I just came from a thing." Literally all you have to say, "I just came from a thing." And everybody's like, "Oh, cool." That's it. Just wear suits. It's fine.
I feel like you had this brewing.
I did. It bothers me a lot when people do not appropriately dress for events and occasions. I just need people to listen. There's certain
AJ, what's going to be the attire for your wedding party?
All black everything.
I know there's a joke in there somewhere.
DB, you're invited. Let's go.
Damon, you ever heard the words to "Don't Stop Believing"?
Rico, whose voice was that, bud? Whose voice was that, Rico?
That was me.
Wait a minute. AJ, will you do the electric slide?
Oh no, God no, no way.
Cupid shuffle?
I hope we have a band, so if they're playing Cupid Shuffle, Matt,
Wait, you have a what?
we got a band. It's not the Austin Jacobson band. It's like a band you pay for, Damon.
God.
What?
Lot of range? of this.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
What would a band, the range a band could have that could do like a father-daughter dance and then turn around and get it like
dance music,
like dance
poppin'?
music.
All right, so
It's Creed.
Creed works for everything. There's a wide range.
That's a lie.
There's a
everybody
wide...
has a microphone somehow. That's insane.
Wait, that wasn't a drop?
No, that was Sasha from the heavens, apparently.
I don't understand how people can just do that.
They just hop in the stream. They're talking
We can't get people to get off mute for guests, and anybody and everybody can just be on the show.
Shout out Jacob Bigelow for getting to unmute.
To be fair, he admitted that was on him. He
AJ,
did.
I need an explanation.
On what, the band?
Yeah.
Hold me now.
So I will send you the link so you can see what this band is. I'm not gonna just like super outwardly plug anything, but they're the Downtown Collective.
Okay.
The guy who started it is a UNK grad from a few years before me. We saw them at a wedding that we went to last year, and we were like convinced that we had to have them because nobody left the dance floor. Super fun. They have a brass section. They've got a drum set. They've got 2 singers. It's fantastic. It's like the ultimate party people, and they read the room so they know what kind of vibe people would want, and to keep people kind of engaged and on the dance floor. So I'm very excited about it. It was a worthwhile expense to me because most important part to me was to have the best party possible. So, Dr. Fiance otherwise, but that's fine. So, yeah.
Who's the more fun of the two?
I mean,
I know she's funnier. Who's the more fun?
That's also just not true. You spent 1 car ride with us. There's no way you know that.
It was 3 hours. I learned a lot.
You did. Yeah. You kept asking her too many questions. I was getting worried. You were a few away from being like, all right, Damon, we got to pull over on the side of the road. I'm going to take you out. We're going to have to talk.
I didn't know how people, the dynamic. I was fascinated. It was such a more enjoyable experience than I thought going in. I was terrified at first.
I could tell. But you got in and I was playing Purple Rain and you went, oh, wow.
Yep.
Prince, your guy?
It was a total icebreaker. Now, could said band play Purple Rain?
I really hope they're not going to play a 7-minute Purple Rain. But hey, you know what? If you want Purple Rain, we can get Purple Rain.
I'm curious.
I gotta say, overly long songs at a wedding reception do kind of kill the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody at my reception, the second one, they requested American Pie, and first of all, I was like, weird vibe for sure. And I was like, that's like a 6.5-minute song. I had to go over and talk to the DJ, be like, don't take requests from that person anymore. I don't know who it was.
Wait, you can't do that.
I pay the DJ. He does what I tell him to.
Good point.
There was
I forgot Mr. Other Centered over here.
Listen,
Shane, did you get a ton of requests? Austin Shane was my DJ.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, we had a lot of requests.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
I basically just told the DJ, I was like, you play what I want to play. I don't care what the guests want to hear.
It is your wedding.
100%.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm footing the bill here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have
sometimes that'll work, sometimes it won't.
We're gonna have the food that I want. We're gonna have the drinks that I want, and you're gonna play the music that I want because we're paying for all of this. So that's how this works.
Don't be like that.
I am like that.
Definitely be like that. If you're paying for all the things, you should get the things you want.
I do like the fact, AJ, you said you the thing you want people to remember is that they had fun.
Yeah.
Because I think whatever the desired outcome is, that should be how you plan the whole wedding.
Well, I think when people see me, they're like, what a fun guy. And I want that to be emblematic of my wedding.
I would be very disappointed if your wedding wasn't fun. I'd be like, that doesn't make
Is this trailer park, Austin? Like Carney or the one that likes raisins and frozen vegetables and unseasoned tuna?
All right. There have never been raisins in my life outside of the bran I eat in the morning. Okay, let's get that clear.
Shocker.
That's for fiber. Okay, Damon.
Intestinal health is very important.
Yes, and as you two poop guys should understand, you should get in your fiber, right? You both had gut problems.
Can your band play this?
Keep on it.
Shane, I haven't even been mean to you yet today. This is why this happens, right?
I would be impressed if they could. I'm just asking.
It's funny Shane brings that up. We have told the band we have a song for Ravi if he can have a chance to perform.
There is a. I will say
would I have something to dance to, Austin?
Purple Rain. We'll give you that. Well, Ravi, I think we've talked about it on the show.
You're not invited.
What's that?
Ravi, I think we've talked about it on the show, but I don't know. We can re-break this if we haven't, but you're going to be our officiant.
Yes. Yeah. I'm marrying them.
You told me that and I forgot.
Yeah. I will be marrying.
God, this is fat. This is fat. If nothing else, this would be a nice case study.
Should we do our live counseling sessions on air? We should record them. It'd be great.
We should make it a podcast. A Hurrdat Sports podcast.
Dude, this is wild.
Marriage counseling.
My man said a band. That they gotta have some range.
You're gonna like them. I'm gonna send you a few links. You'll like it.
Or I'm curious. I don't want to give him no, because I can't give you an inch.
All black everything.
Yeah, right. Even the harmless stuff.
Our Lord and Savior Jay-Z can't be referenced on this show.
Hova.
I was just in the studio and I was like,
Kermit?
It's Diddy.
Whose voice is that?
You ever heard Jay-Z laugh?
Oh yeah, no, he's nuts. Dude, there's this dude that does he calls them 3 second very specific impressions. And one of Jay-Z is just,
that is Jay-Z's laugh.
No, it is. But he goes, one of Jay-Z is just like, this is Jay-Z yelling to Beyonce from downstairs, and he just goes, Beyonce, Beyonce. You're just mad. Never mind.
Now what am I mad at, Ravi?
Nothing.
What am I mad at?
Are you a big Beyonce guy?
I love Beyonce.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Infamously had a big on-air fight over Beyonce.
Oh, well, which was Michael not a huge fan?
He's a legendary Beyonce hater.
Haters.
If he woke up this morning,
yeah,
he's gonna tell you how much she cannot sing.
Do you like her music or her other talents?
I don't like surprises.
Okay.
So I would be curious if that's what she looks like all the time, right? Like you just don't want to be like, oh, that's not what I thought. So it started with her music.
Okay.
I don't know. She may not look. She strikes me as the type that you have to wait like 2 hours to get ready. That's not my jam.
She could come off a little high maintenance.
You said it.
I think. I'll be honest.
Are you out on Beyonce?
I think the music's a little overrated. It's fine. I don't understand the obsession.
Who's obsessed?
Like a lot of people. Like there's the whole Beehive thing. Like not yours. There's like a lot of people. I understand yours. It's I think different. There's a lot of people that are like because people will freak out at you if you say anything about Beyonce. And
I thought that was Taylor Swift.
Well, she's bigger now, but like probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago, if you said anything sideways about Beyonce, you were getting just killed by the Beehive.
Before we take a break, I need one more suggestive hint. I know.
Euphemism?
We get most of this hour is his fault. Generally speaking, what catalog or catalogs would this band gravitate towards?
From our understanding, it's pretty much anything and like everything that fits the couple. They've performed for a bunch of different they say like events and different styles of weddings too. So I think that they're going to just cater it to like what we like. So it's definitely going to be more of my future wife's favorite music more than likely, because that's the music like we generally like gravitate towards. If it was mine, it would be strictly Nickelback. Like we would just have a 3-hour Nickelback concert, which I did look into, but you know, it's $100,000 to book Nickelback. It's actually relatively cheap.
I would say that's less than I would have thought.
Yeah.
For like a private party. Should we do a GoFundMe to see if we can get Nickelback to your wedding? We've got like a year.
How mad would the band that I booked be upset that Nickelback just came up stage them?
They can open. No, that'd be great for them. They'd be like, dude, we opened for Nickelback. Like that's
that would be pretty good. Yeah, that is fair.
That's a good line on the resume. How much? Did you look how much Creed cost?
Oh, look, I'll see what I can get to.
Because like I bet you could get Creed for like 50. If I'm being honest, and I think that's a number we could get to.
Quick search says $150,000.
Oh, Creed greater than Nickelback. Let's go. Scott Stapp living his best life.
This might be the most off-color thing I've ever experienced. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. I have a question for you that I have to ask off the air because it probably crosses a line, but it's in the theme of what we've talked about this morning. Because I watched a video last night of this might have been before you were listening to Christian music. And it was, I'll be honest, some of the stuff from the 90s is wild. And
is this specific to my cultural group?
Yes.
Yeah, let's ask that off air.
Yes, it is.
I don't want T-Mac hitting you up. My man Bobby Clay.
I don't want Bill hitting me up.
Oh, shocker. Envelope pusher when it comes to race.
It is.
Dude, Bill's pretty chill, though.
He is, and I appreciate that about him because otherwise we would not be employed. But it is further than I'm willing to test the waters on air.
And you said some things, too.
I sure have. Let's take a quick break here. Coming up on the show today.
At some point, we got to have sports.
We talked about the Crown, remember?
And Weechin for a second. Coach Mosey, I
guess. We
talked
about Coach Mosey and how I didn't get to meet Coach Barthel or Coach Mosey. It's all right. It's my fault. I left a little early because
TK, do it now. You know he wants to gas this thing up. He's a menace.
True. Coming up, we've got Tim Verghese at 8 o'clock, and then at 9, we've got Steve Sipple, Stephen Montgomery Sipple.
That sounds like a penguin.
I feel like a penguin. We'll have him.
Don't you mealy mouth me.
We got to be careful here. That's TV.
Matt Rhule.
Damon Benning. We'll be right back. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's great. If you remember, the last time we get it every 5 years. So it's 2021 when we were able to host it last time, and that was right when COVID broke. And I was telling the Big Ten people that I remember in the seats, that caution tape that, like if somebody died, they put it around, or a crash or something. So the seats were all wrapped up. Like you couldn't sit in these 3 seats, but you could sit in those 2. And I remember that's how PBA was. And it was just so weird. And it's one of the first times they let people in. And we actually had a crowd, but it was so sporadic. And then all you see is the yellow caution tape all around. So this is really fun for us to be here on a normal year and host this great event. And we're just super excited and proud to have it.
Yeah, I did look at it. I would say maybe 10 days ago. And it looks like there's two, I would say, teams that probably, I'm not going to say they lock it in, but they're really close to locking it in. That would be Indy, and that we get to host next week or this week, and Dallas that we need to play twice. And then I think there's a dogfight of 4 or 5 teams for that spot 3 and 4, and we are right there. Like we've been saying, that's where we need to be. Last third of the season, that's where we want to be, that's where we need to be, and we are here now. Let's see who's going to be able to navigate chaos better in these very, very exciting moments coming up.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know we were coming back. I put a little Pop-Tart in my mouth, so we got that going on right now.
Dude, I need you to send that to Shane.
I will. You talk for a second so I can chew.
The word you asked me about is not even in the same hemisphere of offensive things you've said to me.
Okay, good. So
it's not even close.
I don't know where people land on that word. I only use it in one specific context when it is blank league baseball. I'm a big Jackie Robinson fan. That's the context I will give you.
I can't even believe that was a song.
That's all I like. That is, it was like just a little one of those like mini between.
That had to be the start of DC Talk.
Yeah, that was
early
90s.
So A-Train.
Early 90s.
Like, look at A-Train's question. How fitting.
So I sent the clip in the group, in the Discord.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is.
Oh, so he's aware.
Yes.
Because I was going to say the irony would be hilarious.
Yeah. Because I said it in there. I said, my question had to do with this. I will not be explaining further. I'll send Shane the clip,
dude. You realize, you guys, I'm new to this whole Discord. That's going to be the end of us.
What do you mean?
Like nothing will be sacred. It's just a goddamn free for all in there.
It is a little bit of a free for all. Shane, I'm about to send you a YouTube clip that I want to be very clear. DB would like you to play.
I don't really need you to play it. I'm shocked that you think that of all the things that you've said to me.
Here's the thing. I didn't know until recently that some people felt a certain way about that word.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like go around calling people that, but in context of like it being used historically, I didn't know that it made some people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of old folks,
so I don't know what to do there.
Oh boy. Now, how would Josh?
No, that's true.
I know. Josh's Rolodex is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You kind of want to paint him one way, and it's like, oh, that would have been wrong.
Yeah.
You want to paint him another way, you're like, oh, that would have. You got a little range.
I will say, DC Talk does have one of the like biggest like Christian music songs of all time.
They were not in my fave 5 early.
No, it's probably not as much your style. Like they were kind of like,
what's my style?
It was pretty quiet music, despite the fact that Michael Tate is not.
I like.
You know what's funny is like
Speaking of painting, like what corner am I in? I like I like Elton John. That's pretty Anglo.
That is as Anglo as you can get. That is I think is Elton John the most Anglo artist of all time?
No.
Who's whiter than Elton John?
Jim Croce, like James Taylor. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
All right. Anyway,
what?
Wait, give him something. Give him a little something.
It came to my attention in the last couple of years that some people don't love that word.
Who told you that?
I think I can't remember because I said I was talking about Negro League baseball, and because I was talking.
What old black people do you know?
Not a lot of old ones. Charles is probably the oldest black guy I know.
He wouldn't be offended.
No, but I think it was. I'll be honest. I think it was a white person.
Well, who cares?
I don't know. Maybe they heard it from somebody else. Maybe they had an old black friend that was like, "Hey, we don't really like that." I don't know.
I need to move on from you.
What do you mean?
Wait, give him something. Give him a little something. Go ahead, man.
I just do. I think something is
even when I'm trying to be more culturally sensitive there.
Oh, hey, Royce, where in the world you been? I'm Team Royce. Dude, Royce has got to be in. He's an OG.
Dave is right. Leonard Skinner, very quiet.
I don't know. I've clearly heard of him. I couldn't name a song.
Sweet Home Alabama is Leonard Skinner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that song.
Freebird.
Michael Hayes.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's old school wrestling.
No, it's
No, there was no Jim Croce slander. Jim Croce's fine. It was just an easy pull.
Very quiet.
Yeah, significantly
fair.
Yeah.
Creedence Clearwater Revival, pretty white.
I know they're Shane. Don't we just call them CCR?
I like CCR.
CCR.
Pretty
well.
white.
Nobody says their whole name.
Well, I didn't know if you were familiar with the.
Golly, man, you just offensive, man. Just the low key pot shots. You make Austin look like a nice guy.
Austin is a nice guy. That's why I'm marrying him.
Oh, gosh. Hey, have you picked your scripture or are you just going to freeball it? Okay, good talk.
He's not listening to you at all.
Dude is like, what the world is he doing? It's like, look, he's going to pick his nose. He's in his own world over there. We're like literally talking about this dude and he has no clue.
He might not have the show on anymore.
Isn't he supposed to be producing? Shane.
He's probably working on a clip, so he's listening to the clip. That's what if I had
Shane, nudge him to see if he's awake.
I'm more of a sausage guy, though.
It's fine.
The booby part sounds way better, though.
Burl Ives. Now, that's a good pull.
Oh.
Burl Ives reminded me of those scary ventriloquist dolls.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Burl Ives.
I'll be honest. I don't think Johnny Cash is that white, Jay Sadi. I think he was a friend to many cultures.
Sadie's crazy. You talk about a guy that has crossover.
Hey, sorry I wasn't paying attention. I was putting up the podcast. My bad. That's my part of the job. Sorry, I just pulled a Shane. I was a little late for the podcast.
I was saying, delay. Waylon Jennings, very white, funky.
I'm more of a sausage guy, though.
Good call. Good call. I don't even remember what we were asking him.
I don't either. I was trying to.
Wow. You asked about scripture?
Oh, yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Good call. Do you know what? Will there be reference to a verse for your vows, or are you going traditional?
We haven't really gotten that far.
Eyes. Yeah. Will you, Austin Action Jackson, Jimmy Neutron Jacobson? That would be the goatest line of ever in your officiating.
I should make her use your full work name.
The big game chain guy.
Austin, AKA AJ, Action Jackson, Jimmy Neutron,
AKA the big game chain guy.
Dr. Fiance does find Jimmy Neutron to be the funniest. He started calling me that at home when she's mad at me. He goes, "Okay, Jimmy."
T-Mac, I'm getting ready to send you a text on the question that Ravi asked as my one token black friend in the chat now.
You can't do that. That was in the tree of trust. That was off air.
It's not offensive. I'm just going to ask him what he thinks.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to be very clear that I didn't want to say that word until I cleared it with you.
It's fine.
I didn't have to buy a pass for it or anything out of a trunk. And I didn't ask for 50 either.
Where's Kobe when we need him?
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back with Tim Verghese here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's, to be honest, there's such a mixed amount of emotions, a lot of excitement, a lot of unknowns, a little bit of stress involved as well, because, hey, I believe in something like when you're going to do something, do it tremendously well. But we haven't hosted an outdoor meet for 7 years. We haven't hosted a meet in this new facility, so there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know, hey, is the scoreboard going to work perfectly? Is all of the timing stuff going to work perfectly? Those are all things that logistically we have to work through. We just don't know. But there's so much excitement with that and opportunity that we are looking forward to. The facility, tremendous. It's beautiful. In my opinion, I would say it's probably the best in the Midwest without a doubt, and probably top 3 in the country, if you ask me.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We're presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. Did you have something you want to say to Shane before we?
Oh, yeah. Did I paint you in a bad light?
Yeah, I'm talking to T-Mac right now on the chat.
Shane, my mom is laughing. She said she asked you during the wedding if you wanted to use her playlist.
Oh, sorry, I don't remember that, but that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, whatever's easiest. You know, when people have the playlist, if I can just go by that, then I'm all about that.
Dude, Micah stole the show that night.
He did steal the show.
He was like living his best life. He's like 7 or 8, and he could dance, so he tore that place up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know which chat T-Mac is in, but that's not how I asked the question.
It is. It's almost verbatim. How
no, it's not
you
at
did,
all.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
No, it's not. There was a lot of context. A lot of like building up to the question, trying to make sure, you know.
Shano, Sip said he can't shake free from the ticket. 93.7 the ticket. Apparently the informational hub of fiscal data. Shots fired. I stand on business.
I'll
10 toes down on that.
I'll text
He
him.
said 9:30.
I'll text him. Okay.
9:30.
We got Tim here.
All right, let's get to our guest,
I
Tim
missed
Verghese
him.
from inside Nebraska. Tim, how we doing today?
How we doing?
TV, how are we doing? We're talking about
race relations mostly, but that's fine.
I'm not talking to you anymore. TV, we're talking about wedding planning with one of our outstanding talented producers, and he's giving me the willies. When it comes to wedding planning, are you a cool customer, TV? Are you a go with the flow, check in, let me know? I like input. Like, where do you stand?
So if it's not my wedding, then I'm go with the flow.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like my wedding, hold on, we got a special guest here.
Oh, hello.
Oh, you're a cat guy.
What's the cat's name?
Mowgli.
Mowgli?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Like from Jungle Book?
Yeah, from Jungle Book.
No, that's my guy.
Oh, cute. You guys can bond over a flipping.
And a movie about our culture.
TV, you're my dude. You can't be a cat guy.
I grew up a dog guy. I had a dog growing up my whole life. No, I listen. My girlfriend got me on cats. We're a cat family.
Listen, I'm a dog guy too. I love my cat Potato. Potato's the goat.
Oh God, TV.
That's my dude. That's my dude. We hang. We chill.
Never.
Tim gets it. It's like I never wanted a cat. My wife's like, hey, let's get a cat. And I was like, all right, that's kind of your deal. And now I'm like, man, Potato's my dude.
He treats this fat cat like a goddamn parrot. He sits on his shoulder.
He walks around on my shoulder.
They got a 700-pound cat that he lets chill on his shoulder.
He's like 16 pounds. He's just a little fluffy, you know?
Listen. I was the dog. I have 2 dogs back at home. My parents have 2 dogs. My dog Rowdy, like, you know, I grew up with him. That's my dog. But you know, for me, it's just different. You know, cats are different. Like for me, I can work. I don't have to. They can just kind of chill here in the background. I got my little lanyards from all my different credentials hanging off the desk. They just sit here and play with it. You know, it's not as big of a deal. My girlfriend's dad has an Australian Shepherd, so every time we go back there, we see that. And every time I'm around the Australian Shepherd, I'm reminded why I don't have a dog.
You know who else?
Australian Shepherds are like particularly high maintenance, though. To be fair,
can I pet that dog?
He's a puppy, so it's a lot.
Oh wow, yeah.
Considering how I got smoked on Husker Sports Nightly by Jess and Kyle for alleging that I could run 36 mile an hour, Kyle won't have any. The number just keeps getting bigger too. By the way, I never said 36 mile an hour.
You did say 30.
That's fine. I could get there. Anyway,
no, you 100% cannot.
Anywho, Kyle's a cat guy too. And I try not to have him remind me of that because I don't know why I'm so judgy, McJudge, but you got some friends along that line. You got my weird co-host next to me, and Casey's a cat guy too. So I don't get it. I don't get it. So can I just ask this without the?
Yeah.
I'm not a cat slander guy. But I don't know. Like, can you say like, what's your cat's name? TV?
Mowgli.
Oh, Mowgli, that's it. Mm-hmm. So can you say like, oh, here Mowgli or here Potato and like or whatever, and they're like like
Potato listens.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, there's times, like, look, the last time I had to take him to the vet, no joke, it took me 40 minutes chasing him around the apartment to, like, get him into the carrier. Like it was a mess. I'm sprinting around the apartment for 40 minutes. Like, it can be a mess. But I come home, he's right at the door waiting on me. I say, "What's up, dude?" And he chirps back at me. We have a little conversation, and then we get on our way.
That's accurate. Also, to be fair, sometimes when Doug doesn't want to go in his room before I leave, it takes me 40 minutes to get Doug in the room too.
Dude, Potato is not like a shifty back. He's like Kareem Hunt. You make it seem like
Well, listen, no, they're small though, right? They can fit into spaces that I can't get into, you know?
You got arms like an ogre. Like
Doug just is a bulldozer, and he's just like, if I don't want to go somewhere, I'm not going. And I'm like,
my man said we got a visitor and he drops a cat.
Mowgli. Yeah, Kenny's right. Kenny's right. Animals know when they're going to the vet, and they're like, I'm not about that life.
Yeah, so two of my dogs, the minute that door opens to the garage, they're at my heels.
Yeah.
Biggie knows. I only have one of the three that is anti-car riding. The other two are like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that guy. I'm so insecure and worried about what people think. TV. I'm not going to kid you. I would take one of my dogs everywhere I go. But I get a ton of people that drove with their dogs on their lap.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to come across as that guy, but I'm not going to kid you. I get lonely. I want to take my dogs with me.
Yeah, I feel that.
they don't care if they're going to the vet, to the store, to the park.
Dude, if I ever got like FU money where I could just do whatever I wanted and people wouldn't say anything about it, I would 100% take a dog everywhere.
You have to do it. You have irrational confidence.
No, but like if you've got like money, people don't care what you do. You can like I could take a 110-pound Doug wherever I wanted, and they'd just be like, "Oh, that's just Ravi and Doug."
Shoot, if I had FU money, I'm getting a presser and dare you to say something. That's what I'm doing.
Not a lot of people want to say anything to Doug either. That's the big boy.
Yeah, he looks more menacing than he actually appears to be.
100%. Although I do feel like if somebody ever tried anything, especially like he's super protective of Natasha.
6?
5 and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
If anybody tried anything with Natasha, like I do think he would murder them.
Natalia. All right, TV. Let's talk ball. I'm not kidding you, man. I feel like I got thrown a curveball, man. I gotta get back after that. So on the heels of Ravi got a chance to hear Jamar Mosey last night, just for a little bit, 4 or 5 minutes. And one of his big takeaways at the Jet Awards is how captivating he is. He was with another guy that actually came in on the phone because he was talking to not an initial target recruit's dad, but a guy that he's in on. Like you always intimate, hey, this is such and such his dad. Hang on. I'm like, he's not even a running back. But I was like, oh, we have insight because at 8 o'clock on Fridays, my guy has told me for 2 years that he has a lot of input with his non-positional guys. 2 guys, Tim, that have the ability to recruit. How big or how accurate do you think what Ravi's hearing and alluding to, and I'll let you expound on what you were drawn to, has played such a huge impact, especially with this 2027 class?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at what this class is right now and what it can be, and I think Jamar is kind of critical to the close here and Nebraska's ability to finish. I think it really starts in Kansas City. I mean, we look at, I think, 2 key positions that need this cycle: interior of the offensive line and edge. Your 2 top targets are in KC, and you're not landing those guys without Jamar Mosey's effort. Like if you want to put together this top 10 tight class, you need to land a top 10 edge rusher, and your best shot at doing that right now is Prince Goldsby. And on the offensive line, you'd probably need to land a top 10 interior offensive lineman. You have to beat out Iowa, Missouri, and Penn State for Kyler Kuhn. And that's going to be on Jamar Mosey. And then, beyond that, I mean, he's pretty active in Oklahoma. He's pretty active in Texas. I was just having some conversations with some people on a DB. I think the staff should check out. And yeah, Jamar's probably going to go down there and check him out because Jamar's the guy down there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was fascinated with, he was just so like, I don't know. I really appreciate guys that you can tell aren't trying too hard, but you just are incredibly engaging anyway. Like he would just went up there and just was a dude talking, and like
no notes, no nothing.
Yeah,
he didn't even really know what his role was going to be.
Yeah, and you could just tell like this is a dude who was supremely confident in who he was, what he's about, and the things he believes in. And so you like that's a dude that can go and talk about that kind of stuff at any time, at any place. And you could just like, I don't know. I walked around. I was like, man, that guy is going to be a D1 head coach at some point. Like that is, I was blown away with just like how engaging he was and how, I don't know, just like he really kind of just like drew me in. I was really impressed.
And pit him against EJ, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago.
Who I had no idea how cool he was until we talked to him for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to meet him. And like I said, I left a little early, but it was like those two guys, I don't know that we give them enough credit. And ironically enough, like Mosey, EJ critical to people outside his position group and landing them for this class.
Yeah, both of those guys. And, you know, I mean, that's what it takes. I think in general, you look across the country, and again, I've done this a bit now, seen a few, you know, different guys. Like, what does it take, I think, consistently to be a good recruiter? Like, it really does come down to, can you just, like, kind of hang? Can you shoot the shit, you know? And I think both those guys really can. You look at who they've added on staff. I think Addison Williams can do that really well. Like, you know, Jeep Wade, that's been one of the biggest compliments of Jeep Wade from coaches, parents and recruits so far when he's made these visits and you know, met with recruits, has been like, oh man, he's kind of like an everyman. Like we can talk to Jeep about just about anything, but you really dive in on ball with him and it's fun. But you know, I really feel we can talk to him about anything. And I think that same thing about Rob Orich. I think that's a guy who yeah, like he's absolutely kind of that guy where you can just kind of just shoot the shit with him. And so I think all those guys, Rob Dvoracek, it's why he's had you know, so much success even outside of his position group and why he's had so much involvement. So just generally, yeah, the best recruiters, you know, are able to do that, are able to kind of not necessarily command a room. That's not necessarily what it takes. I mean, I think Jamar Mosey, you know, the head coaching experience he's gotten, his role now at Nebraska, like he does have an authority. There is something that comes with that, but the ability to just connect with people is what makes you a good recruiter.
You know, the funny thing about that TV is you can tell it was intentional. And listen, some of the experiences are the best teachers, right? So when you kind of swap out your staff and you see what didn't work, whether it's JB or Coach Braden or whomever, right? You kind of get this blueprint of what you want. And I watched during the coaches clinic these guys navigate, right? Sitting in on the parent. I mean, I was fortunate to be in with and meet Benton from Minnesota and talk to his dad, who it was weird. He played in the Arena League, and he was like, I remember you know, and we just started chopping it up about old school indoor football days. And at the end of the day, these conversations center around football, right? It's not a lot of, I don't know if it's a different version of kid, but I think we get the opinion of like it's NIL and how much money can you spend and how much is this player going to cost? But like kind of getting behind the scenes, and maybe it's just specific to the guys Nebraska's recruiting TV. A lot of it just centers around, at least right now, just centers around ball. And I could tell like it's intentional by the coaching staff that he brought in to recruit, right? You bring up Wade, you bring up these guys. It's about ball.
Yeah, and I think that's been something too you've seen. You know, I've had this conversation in a few places. You've seen, I think, this recruiting strategy evolve where the floor of what Nebraska's recruiting has gotten so much higher. In addition to all of that, I think you look across who they're recruiting, who they're after. I mean, I think about the DB board right now, and I think about the conversations I've had, you know, with guys across the DB board, from, you know, Tavares Harrington down to Corey Hadley down to even Jalen Hill. And I think back to Jalen Hill and what he said about, you know, for him, he's passionate about football. And, you know, he's a guy who, you know, he's looking for people that are passionate about football, just like him. And I asked him what that meant. And he's like, you know, it's just kind of a feeling he gets. Like he knows, he gets around certain coaches, he feels goosebumps when they talk ball, you know, and that's something that's been echoed across multiple recruits. You know, I mean, like not just at DB. You see it at along the D line now. You're seeing it up front. I mean, I had multiple conversations with guys in town this past weekend who straight up told me coming out of the weekend, you know, look, money is not a factor for me. Like NIL is not something I'm really thinking about. Like I want to play football for the love of the sport, and you hear that from the guys that are recruiting. It's becoming a theme. I'm glad you pointed out, because that's something I've noticed this spring, especially as they kind of turn the page to this 27 class. You really look at the new guys that Rob Orich has added to the board. You know, the guys that Addison Williams has prioritized, and then on the offensive side of the ball, who are some of the new offensive linemen that Jeep Wade has added to the board, and who are the guys they've really honed in on? It's the guys that love football. And I think that's important for the staff. I think they figured out, okay, how do we recognize that? I think staffs across the country, it's been something that they've been working to identify, because, you know, in this NIL era, you got to find the guys that really want to do this. And you know, I mean, I had this conversation with someone this week. You got to find guys that love playing football at Nebraska, not guys that love being a Nebraska football player. There's a difference between those two things.
Oh man,
now you're speaking to DB's heart right now.
Oh, like
it's the Disneyland thing.
100%. I'm trying not to get choked up and be super emotional, but that does tug at my heartstrings a little bit, because I've been saying that for a long time, right?
You say about coaches too.
The same thing happens to coaches. It's the same thing that happens to players. It's an easy place to get spoiled by because of everything that you have. And since the amenity upgrades and everything else, it's even worse. And you compound it by the NIL era. And so when you say that and can speak to kind of what my thought process should be for this program as a developmental program, yeah, it moves me a little. I watched this is about a month ago, and I went to go watch. I was watching middle school volleyball, and it's just Coach Rhule and I and his wife and like the kids. And I can say this: he's talking about recruiting and what it takes to win at Nebraska. And he said, the longer I do this, and the more that I'm in the game, I just have to find two things: tough players and guys that love ball. Nothing else ultimately is going to matter. And he can tell me anything. Now, clearly I trust him and we have a good relationship and it sounds good. But when you actually see it start to play out, like, you give yourself a chance. I don't know about a success rate in terms of wins and losses, but you give yourself a chance to compete, where you don't worry about the schedule. You don't worry about past failures. You don't worry about any of that BS. You keep your ass right here in the moment because of two things: you're tough and you love the sport. If you just those two things, you got a chance.
Yeah, and I think they've also figured out too, like, again, on the NILs, all of this side of it, like, okay, look, you invest in the guys that want to be here and care about this program and are passionate about the program. You also invest in the guys that, look, when it comes down to it and you have to pick and choose when you're assessing your board, and you're like, oh, well, are we going to pay up for this guy or this guy? You got to figure out which one loves ball more, which one, you know, loves Nebraska more, and also which one's going to have the biggest impact, I think, on the team. So it's something that I think has allowed them to, one, I think part of it is when you love ball as a staff, and I think across the board, the staff has gotten that through to guys. It's a lot easier, like we talked about, to have these conversations and get these guys on board. And it's a lot easier to move the needle because, look, like, I mean, all of these guys, look, they want to be around I think that's something that also does get lost. So if the majority of the recruits around here, the guys that play football at a high level in high school, that are pursuing this in college, do really care about the sport and want and ultimately are aiming for the NFL. And what does it take to make to the NFL? It's development. It's all these things. So they're looking for guys that they know they can trust with their development. They're looking for guys they know what they're talking about and can put them in positions to be successful. And so, look, Nebraska still needs to show this on the field. Like, that has been a thing. Obviously, they need to show this. The new assistants need to show it. In terms of just talking ball, in terms of getting around these guys on the practice field, all of these new assistants, Rob Orich, Roy Manning, Corey Brown, Lonnie Teasley, I mean, even like on the Addison Williams has done it. Tyler Yelk has done it. Tyler Yelk hasn't had a whole lot of conversations with safety recruits, but they know he knows what he's talking about when they see him on the practice field. Same thing with Jeep Wade. I can't tell you how many offensive linemen have visited campus and raved about just sitting in the meeting room and talking about the film with Jeep Wade. Heck, he had an Oregon commit on campus this past weekend, an Oregon offensive tackle commit. They're working to flip, and Avery Michael. And Michael talked about they hopped in the film room when he first got in town and broke down his film, and then broke down the Georgia Tech film and how he'd fit in. And then the spring game wrapped up, and they hopped back in the film room to break down the film, the spring game film. And then you had Kyler Kuhn. He was like, I'm out there. He works with Chris Gomez, who's a trainer out in KC. He's trained a ton of O linemen out of the Kansas City area. Armand Membu, Caden Green, like so on and so. Like he's had guys in there, so he knows what he's looking for. He knows what he's talking about. Kyler knows what he's looking for, what he's talking about. He's played his position at a high level, and he talked about being in practice on Thursday with Jeep Wade. And Jeep was pointing things out where like he was like, I wouldn't have noticed that if Jeep did point that out. Like it just looked like a normal drill. I thought the drill was fine. And he's getting after guys, starters over something that I wouldn't have even noticed.
When you're talking about trying to go out and find guys that are competitive and love ball and don't care about the NIL as much, how do you balance that with sort of this narrative of Nebraska has to commit a certain amount of money to be in the conversation with certain guys? And like, is it just you don't want guys that NIL is the deciding factor? Or because like obviously all these guys are getting something, right? So like how do you balance the Nebraska needs to have this NIL investment to be in the conversation with certain guys versus the guys they want need to not care about NIL that much?
Yeah, it's not about finding guys where NIL is the deciding. It's not about the NIL being the deciding factor, because for some guys, truthfully, it is. I mean, these guys might love ball, but ultimately, like, look, at the end of the day, 4-star recruit, there is a bare minimum you have to be paying that guy to get him to campus in the first place. So it's more of that. It's more of Nebraska now is when they are at the table, they have all of these different things to offer in addition to NIL. And so for them, it's making sure if we are investing in the guy, if we are, we're going to be the highest bidder on this guy. We're going to put the most aggressive NIL or most aggressive rev share offer on the table for this guy. We need to know that guy loves football and loves playing football at Nebraska here. So it's more so it forces you to really do your research before you put something on the table. You're not just going to bag a kid just for the sake of bagging a kid. There isn't really a reason to do that, not at a program like this. And I just think in general, there isn't really a program. If you're a Power 4 program, there really isn't a reason to do that, especially in certain positions. Like I think receiver, I think DB, there's a lot of options at those positions. If you're going to invest in a guy, you better know he loves the program and loves ball, and he's going to be there for at least 2 seasons. So I think that's more so what it is. I do think with Nebraska too, what it has been is the money conversation is, like I said, you have to have a certain amount just to have a seat at the table for some of these guys. Like, look, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, for some of these guys, Ahmad Hudson, for Albert Simeon, for on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be like that with Prince Goldsby if you want to get him at linebacker. And with some of these DB targets, it's going to be the same thing. Like, look, head to head, Nebraska's done a lot right. Like Juju, let's just take Juju Johnson for example. Head to head, Nebraska's done a lot right for Juju Johnson. Ultimately, in terms of development, in terms of relation, like they have a better relationship with him than Miami does. But in terms of development, in terms of situation, Miami probably might have the edge, because in terms of recent development, Miami's about to put a whole bunch of DBs into the league. And on top of that, they've had more recent success. And of course, it's South Florida and all of that. And ultimately, it's going to be a thing of, okay, well, head to head, Nebraska. I don't know if Nebraska's going to be the highest bidder on the table, when it comes down to it, because are you going to be able to outbid Miami? Is everything else adding up to the point where, okay, well, all of this makes more sense. And look, Juju just needs this much. It does. Juju's not looking for the highest bid. I don't think, like, you listen to what he's talking about in his recruitment. That's not necessarily what he's looking for. You talk to a bunch of these recruits. That's not really what they're looking for. And we've heard this time and time again now. When it comes down to it, if the rest of the situation matches, they're going to go to the place that is the best overall situation for them, not the place that's paying them the most. I think about, Georgia right now. And again, Nebraska's not in the place where Georgia is as a program. Nebraska has a lot of steps to take to get to that point. But Georgia's at a point now where they are not the highest bidder on the table for pretty much any of their commits. They don't need to be because they're Georgia.
Interesting. TV, I'm gonna land the plane on this. You said something interesting with like DB targets in the safety room, and I think it's important to kind of shed some light because you get two guys that are coming out of the NFL, and you could be a little jaded one way or another, right? Coach Butler to Coach Yelp, two guys that I think I'm beginning to have a little bit more intimate kind of knowledge about. And how much do you equate two guys not vastly different? I mean, Coach Butler spent time in college before the big stint in the pros. Coach Yelk, a little different in terms of the trajectory. Minnesota Duluth, it was 2010. Fast elevation, small school guy, elevated to a role with the Eagles in terms of what he did, but said one of the reasons he came back, he was sitting down with Jess, and he said one of the reasons he wanted to get back and was appealing to leave the NFL was he wanted more relational control with guys, where he was looking to kind of, just coach ball, have some more insight in terms of the finished product, which to me is code for like development. I want to get back to having control over the end result. Could something as simple but as complex as that concept be the difference between one NFL guy versus another coming back to the college game for you?
Yeah, it's all about mentality. I mean, you're seeing an exodus of guys going up to the league because, they're saying that exact same thing. They want to just focus on ball. But it's different. Like, I mean, you talk to people in the NFL that have not coached college and want to make the thing down. It's more so like, I think about it from an evaluation standpoint. Look, the picture ultimately coming from college to the NFL is cleaner. And then once you get to the NFL, look, once you're in the league for the most part, you do everything you need to do within your position relatively well. Like there's only so much, like obviously there's things to develop, there's things to fine tune, but you're really, really diving into details. I compare it to F1 kind of, where you're putting in a lot of research and a lot of time and a lot of it for a slight edge versus in college, you're getting, this 17, 18-year-old that's, just clay. And, you don't really know what you have there. And the transformation within 1 to 2 years compared to maybe, what you can maybe get at the NFL with a guy where, for the most part, they come to you pretty developed. You're maybe able to maximize that guy. But in college, I think it's more so just what you see and what you think development is. So for some people, the development is those big strides you take from high school football player to potential pro. And those are huge strides you have to make. And I think there's something to the fascination and the science of college football development. I mean, look, like there's guys come out of college, like out of high school. Within that first month on campus, they look suddenly different and when they get into a Power 4 strength and conditioning program. And that's just the first step. And then it's okay. Now we need to dive into the technique. Now we need to do this. Now we need to do that. Now we need and I think if you're dedicated to that, which sounds like Tyler Yelk is, if you're truly dedicated to seeing this thing from the jump and overseeing this development through the finish, the college game is messy right now because there's a lot in between that. And that's why people are moving up, because it has gotten away a little bit from the development. And, and there's a lot of other extracurricular you kind of have to deal with in addition to all this developmental work that goes on the field. But if you are dedicated to the developmental work on the field and you're finding like-minded recruits out there that are also, again, that's why we talk about finding good football players that care about football and care about development. If you find like-minded guys that want to be developed, you have something good there. You have something where, okay, over the course of 2-3 years, you develop that trust. This is ultimately what this program wants to be. They want to be a developmental program where they take pride in inheriting this clay and molding it into something that it wasn't. And you had to kind of squint to see when they got it.
Tim, the last one for me. I've kind of been on this the last couple of weeks about looking forward to maybe being an old team for once. Tim, if I'm right, and I'm saying, hey, if Nebraska can show progress this year, I know it's critical. Year 4, we want to attach a time period to it. If they can hang in there and get better from a growth standpoint, have you allowed yourself to think what it could be like with an older team a year from now without coughing up what has to happen in the immediate future of this year? Because I can't help it. Like, I'm just salivating to play with all these redshirt sophomores as redshirt juniors. Do you know what I mean? Finally being an older football team with what's on the horizon for the 2027 class.
Yeah, I'm kind of there, but I also am kind of like, I think there's still a lot of like question marks for me where I would need to see depth step up at certain positions. I mean, you're going to lose Calandry after the season. You're going to lose some guys on the offensive front, defensive front, linebacker room, most likely. That's I think where I'm at with it. Like, but I do like allow myself to like look ahead to 27 a little bit and say like, I mean, it's not just it's guys we've seen. I mean, like, man, what does Donnie Jones look like in 2027? Like, what does Jameer Khan look like in 2027? I think about guys within this room that are already young and developing, like Danny Odom. Within the linebacker room, Pierce Blueberries. I think they may get 2 years out of like a Dexter Foster potentially. What does that look like? With another year in the system? Because I said this when Foster came in. I think he's a better athlete than Chambliss. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Chambliss. Once he gets a year in the system and he's got a full year of it under his belt, like, I'm really intrigued to see what that looks like once he gets like the level 200 and 300 of this defense under his belt.
Tim, just last one for me.
I just think Riley Van Poppel another year from now.
Like,
Caleb another year with you. Like, there's lots.
Yeah.
All those guys. I mean,
the thing with Riley Van Poppel is like, look, people expected Ty Robinson year 6 impact last year. Like, we may not get that this season, even, but like by next year, that is absolutely on the table. And like, but I think Riley's a guy where like there's a lot there, a lot to work with, a lot in that room just in general, like in that D-line room where I had this conversation again. Like, when we talk about this roster compared to where I felt about this roster last spring, the D-line room still needs to take steps. Obviously, I think there's still a lot of work to do. Corey Brown has his work cut out for him with that room. But compared to last year, I think there are guys in that room where I say, okay, well, there are untapped ceilings here. There's Malcolm Simpsons, Tyson Terry's, Jasir Whittington's, even Owen Studemeyer's and guys like that in the room where I still think there's levels for them to go where, okay, whatever we get at the start of the year, I know athletically and physically, like, there's more to come from those guys. Whereas I thought they were maybe maximizing maybe what they had within the room last year and really getting everything. I felt like, there was only so much more you could really expect out of like an Elijah Judy, and really only so much more you could expect out of Gabe Moore in the condition he was in last year, But this year, I think there's a lot more in there. It just needs to obviously come together.
That's our guy, Tim Verghese, inside Nebraska. Tim, appreciate the time as always. Great stuff. And thank you for introducing us to Mowgli.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, buddy.
That is Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska.
I'm not your friend.
We won't take the.
I'm not your friend.
We won't take the cat slander around here, DB. We're not doing it.
Apparently,
not doing it.
I need to grow up.
Listen, that's your guy. You love TV.
I know.
You gotta maybe change how you think about some things.
And now it's like I'm trending in the wrong direction because I work with you a ton and you're a cat guy. I work with Casey a ton. He's a cat guy. I like Tim. He's a cat guy.
Same.
I may have to reevaluate myself.
I appreciate that, though. You're willing to take in new information and be like,
I'm not going to, it's not sitting well.
You're like, I don't like it, but I will think about it.
We're trending in the wrong direction, so I might have to take some self-inventory.
Let's take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We will be right back with more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
It's, to be honest, there's such a mixed amount of emotions, a lot of excitement, a lot of unknowns, a little bit of stress involved as well, because, hey, I believe in something like when you're going to do something, do it tremendously well. But we haven't hosted an outdoor meet for 7 years. We haven't hosted a meet in this new facility, so there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know, hey, is the scoreboard going to work perfectly? Is all of the timing stuff going to work perfectly? Those are all things that logistically we have to work through. We just don't know. But there's so much excitement with that and opportunity that we are looking forward to. The facility, tremendous. It's beautiful. In my opinion, I would say it's probably the best in the Midwest without a doubt, and probably top 3 in the country, if you ask me.
The message has been similar from like August 26th when we first met, and it's really about staying present, staying in the moment, winning pitches, because if you do that, when you get to that moment, you're not too far ahead, you're not worried about what happened in the past, and I think you saw that as evidence on Sunday, because I can't even sometimes listen to people talk about the game because I'm like, oh, there's all that on the line. I mean, I'm like, no, I got to be in this pitch, because if you think about it, there is all that on the line, but I can't go there. So if I can't go there with as many years as I've been doing this, they certainly can't. I mean, I wouldn't advise them to go there. So let's just stay really present and let's win this pitch. And then Sunday's over. It's like, well, that was pretty fun.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. I got a question, DB.
What up?
What's with my guy MJ on the heads today?
I brought in MJ as motivation.
Okay.
Like highly competitive, kind of attacks today. It was a long day yesterday. I was like, kind of need to regroup, recalibrate. It's Friday. I need to bring some juice. And that guy didn't take any days off. So that was my MJ reference.
Yeah. There you go.
How do you pick and choose when you want to ask about why I bring my dudes?
Well, sometimes I think about it and I remember to ask, and sometimes I think about it and I don't remember to ask. That's all.
It's keeping it real, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a good reason.
Hey, so
I do have a particular affinity for MJ, though. You know this, so
yeah.
We're wearing the 13s today.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, the all black 13s.
Very nice. I'm willing to evolve a little bit and at least consider the cat slander.
Okay.
As something I need to self-evaluate. Right.
Okay.
Like maybe I do kind of like you. I like KC and I like TV.
Yeah.
Right. 3 cat guys. I'm willing to take a look. Right. One's coincidence, or one's coincidence, 2's fluke, 3 or more is trending. Like I'm at 3, right?
Yeah.
Would you allow yourself to ever come around with new lines of thought process?
Yeah, I think I do a lot actually.
Even when you have like hard line stances.
Yes.
All right. I want to play a clip for you.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I'm gonna play a clip for you.
Okay.
I just want to know, like, can you look at this as an isolated thing and rock with it, regardless of who said it?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Play the clip.
Is that moment's over. It's an incredible moment. You'll have that the rest of your life. But we came here for rings, not watches. Everyone that comes to the Final Four gets a beautiful watch. But only one group's going to get a ring. So get off social media, stop injecting the dopamine into your arm, and get serious about the preparation and the practice, because we don't hang banners for Final Fours at UConn. We hang national championship banners, and if you want to hang a banner, you got to get your eyes off social media, get your face out of the phone, and get locked in on Illinois, because Illinois is one of the best teams in the country, and they're as big a threat to winning this tournament as any of the 4 teams.
Can you hear any of that?
Yeah, there's a lot of that I agree with.
And separate.
There's a lot of that I agree with.
And anything else?
So there's a lot of that stuff that I agree with. I think that, and again, it doesn't surprise me because I think Hurley's a good coach. I don't like how he acts as a person.
Okay.
Right? It's the same thing with Cignetti, although not as bad with Cignetti. Because I don't have as much information about Cignetti. I've seen a lot of Hurley up close that TV and stuff doesn't catch, right? So like that's part of this with Hurley. But that doesn't prevent him from obviously there is something about the way he approaches things that makes him very good at what he does. Like that's undeniable. I'm not I might be ignorant, but I'm not stupid, right? Like there's things that back-to-back national championships, they're competitive every year. They're incredibly well prepared. He gets them to execute at a really high level, some concepts that are really hard to get guys to execute. And even if I don't think his offense is terribly complex the way some people do, I do think it's really hard to execute at that level. And being able to do that means you're a terrific coach. So there's something he does that's right. And there might be a certain type of person that his personality doesn't bother them and they're cool. I'm not that person.
Okay.
But there is definitely good things that he does. Like that's
kind of like cat. You want
absolutely.
Is this term? Are we gonna look at this as like the good cat guy? Like not the good piece of cheese, but
well, kind of, because I would describe myself as not a cat guy either. I have a cat and I love my cat, but I've never been before I met Natasha, I never had any interest in having a cat. I've always been a dog guy. I've always wanted dogs. I love my dogs. And I would still consider myself a dog guy primarily. But I have a cat now, and I'm like, oh, this cat's pretty cool. So maybe Dan Hurley has some aspects of his personality. It's like, oh, that's the good piece of potato, right? Like that's my, there's parts of him where it's like, I'm not necessarily a huge cat guy, but there's some things about him I can definitely appreciate on a coaching level. Again, personality-wise, not a fan. Not sure I ever will be, right? Don't like the way he carries himself. I feel like he blames other people a lot for his behavior. And so, I have a really hard time with that. But obviously is doing something as a coach that is phenomenally successful and effective. So it doesn't surprise me at all that that's his take on something like that. And there's nothing I disagree with in that, except for take the watch too. There's nothing wrong with that.
He embodies everything you want and talk about. That's why I guess I just don't get
it's strictly his personality.
Is it because he cussed at kids at CHI?
That's part of it.
Oh.
And it's also listen, it's all of it, man. Like it's the swearing out kids behind his bench. It's the getting like it's picking fights with a student section. It's needing an overhang because you're scared at CHI. Like it's basically trying to headbutt a ref after you make a game-winning shot. Like that's super weird and not normal people behavior. And then, and then he's like, oh, well, the media's assholes to me. And like, that's a thing he said. I'm not making that up.
No, I know.
And
I played that clip for you.
and he's he blames the refs for a lot of stuff. And it's like, man, like you must keep your players accountable. Yeah. I would have a hard time if I'm one of them to be like, hey, you going to sprinkle any of that seasoning on your food, or is that just for us?
We should dominate their ass on the glass.
He said seasoning, so we lost Austin.
I mean, I think the press has been an asshole to me the whole.
What?
I think this show is kind of an asshole to me sometimes.
I think he's talking about us.
I mean, I think the press has been an asshole to me the whole year.
I agree, Dan. I agree. The media over here.
I resemble that remark.
I want to be clear, and Ravi can attest to this too, because I've told him these stories. I season my food excruciatingly well, but my fiance can't handle black pepper. Okay, it's not my fault that half of my household does not like to eat seasoning.
Now I'm coming regardless. But what are you?
You can just show up. You don't have to do that.
What? I mean, I think the press has been an asshole to me the whole year.
Two rings.
Look at him. Look, I wish I.
That was an unfortunate Tyrone incident
you're
again.
A horrible, horrible person. Look at him. I would be embarrassed too.
Tyga says Brad Underwood.
Who says that?
I'm trying to get back on track here.
That was elite, Austin. Great job.
Says another child.
What? He says Ravi, Brad Underwood, or Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley, because he can actually coach.
Okay, I'm letting it go. My original question was,
what are you serving at the wedding?
What are you serving at the wedding?
I don't know that they're that far yet in terms of catering. Are you?
I mean, we still have over a year, so no, we're not there yet. But yeah.
Well, do I need to bring any of these?
That would be very funny. I think you should.
I went out. I told you the time I went out to eat with my family. My sister came in town, and she likes this place because they give you a lot of food for very small, a marginal price. And I bagged my own seasoning to bring it because I knew I was not going to get seasoning. Mm-hmm. And when I sat down, I put the little baggie on the table, and my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, no, you didn't. I can't take you anywhere." And I was like, "Okay, Judgy McJudge, it's fine."
Yeah.
But then when the food came,
oh my goodness,
I got fish, and I put the seasoning on, and she said, "Oh, maybe I should do that."
Oh, now she's in.
Now you're in, huh?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yes, Mom, I am. I just asked the question.
I dislike Tyga. I dislike Dan Hurley more.
Okay, no, but here's my question: do you guys have the next clip ready?
We're getting there.
Okay,
clip joint.
Yeah. So I have another clip that I want you to listen to, and I want to know, kind of like
you want to know,
kind of like the question you asked me about people, and you're just trying to get inside of how
it's
people
ready
think.
now.
Mm-hmm. Is Coach Hurley talking about you?
What do you mean
when he says this?
Go for it.
Play the clip.
Is about the culture that people see, yelling or hard coaching, and somehow think that's a problem.
Yeah, I just think that's society. We've gotten soft in a lot of ways. I think with we're trying to develop young people. I think young people, the teachers and coaches that impact their lives the most are not the teachers and coaches that gave them a grade they didn't deserve. I mean, you remember the teachers and coaches that pushed you to your maximum. That pushed you beyond your comfort level. That got the most out of you. That English teacher that made you do the work, and the tests were hard, and you had to study hard. And just think the same thing applies to coaching. feel like I got a responsibility. You know, I coach 18, 19, 20-year-old men. There's a lot that I got to instill in them. There's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of accountability. There's a lot of commitment that I've got to instill in them to prepare them for the real world. The real world is tough. It's cruel. You got to be equipped. So on the flip side of how I'm driving them and pushing them to be the best that they can be and prepare them for life, I got a very close bond with my players. I love them. They know I love them. And a lot of our relationship that the media doesn't see or times that we spend, together laughing, joking, making fun of each other. You know, you don't see that part of me. You unfortunately just sometimes see the monster.
Fair or foul?
I think his comments are fair. That's not my issue with him. My issue isn't how he treats his players. It's how he treats everybody outside of his program who he's not coaching.
Okay.
That's my issue.
We don't know, though.
Yeah, I do. I watch him do it.
Relative to a beach.
Okay.
How many grains of sand do you think encompass what you've seen?
Not a large part.
Okay. I'm just not
a large part, but also here's the thing. Like, he's a very public person. Persona. He's got a very public
I think
job.
part of it comes with what he does, but sure, humor me.
No, like that's what I mean. Like, due to his job, he is very much in public, right?
Agree.
I think, like, typically, if you act some way in public, I get it's a high stress situation, although it's not always, and he still finds a way to act like that. It's typically, tell me if I'm right or wrong here, the way you act in public is less severe than how you act in private. Typically true or not?
Would you like to frame it a different way for clarity's sake?
So this is the example that gets used.
I feel like that was the leading question.
No, so this is the example I'm thinking of when I ask that question. Okay. Is when I was.
Do you see? I'm even cordial enough to give
No, I appreciate you engaging in the discussion. Okay. And listen, I'm not asking other people to feel this way. This is just how I process his behavior. Somebody told me when I was like in high school or college, if a couple is out and don't treat each other well in front of other people, it's worse at home.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm taking that. Like, typically public behavior is a tamer version of what's happening in private.
I kind of disagree, but carry on.
So, well, that's
at its worst.
So I
would not say at its best.
So that's the lens that I'm.
Because we see people that do lots of things on social media as a portrayal, and it's positive.
Sure,
but it's not like that at the house. So
I don't take social media because you can really craft it.
Yeah, no different than.
But like when you're watching someone act a certain way live in front of you, that's a little different. Like social media, you can like not post it.
Yeah, but okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's the difference between doing a podcast and a live show.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can't post. Like we have to, like everything that we say live goes out.
Okay.
There's no editing.
To that point,
Yeah.
you and Natalia, aka Natasha, ever like been in a knockdown drag out in the car and then you get ready to go to one of your fancy places and it's like, oh, look at this lovely couple.
Sure.
Okay. So what's that?
That is, that's the car's private, right? So whatever happens, it's mostly private, right? Nobody's in the car with you. So like by the time you're out in public, again, the thing that's happening in public is less severe than what was happening in private.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay. So carry on.
So like, if that's how he portrays himself in public, I have a hard time. And listen, I'm not saying his players don't love him. I'm not saying that he doesn't run a good program because he obviously does.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's how he treats people when other people are watching, I don't feel great about how he might treat people the rest of the way. And listen, it doesn't matter. I'm not one of those people, but like, that's probably just not going to be a guy I ride with.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's all it is like, I don't know. Like, yes, I don't like Dan Hurley and I give him a hard time or whatever. I don't know like what people, like I don't want him fired or anything. Like I don't care.
No, I get it.
It's just like,
I like to.
People ask if I'm going to ride with that guy or not. They're like, oh, why don't you like Hurley? It's like, because I don't think he treats people well.
Yeah. So part of that is just my,
it's just my disposition, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell you how to think.
Sure.
I want to know why. Like, I got this long DM from this guy, and he's a lawyer, and it would be much better. But he's like, oh, man, you're going to exhaust yourself, arguing with people that don't agree with you. And I'm like, God, there couldn't be a worse characterization of that, because
That's not really what you're doing.
It's not at all.
No, you're just trying to figure out how they got there.
I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know if you're new to this, but it was not even legalese because there was so many generalities. But I'm thinking to myself, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you how to fan.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of questions that I ask are for me to gain information. They're not necessarily rhetorical.
Yeah, you're doing your recon.
I like just to make sure we're clear. Like, I'm not, I don't think I don't not know why there's a double standard between basketball and football. Because when I'm having that conversation, I say, well, one guy we like, one guy we don't.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. So those are how those conversations
100%.
go. But I'm not saying you're wrong because one guy has built up more goodwill while he was losing than another guy has built up while he was losing. I don't care if you think like that. I don't
be able to say it out loud.
Yeah, because that way we don't have to have conversations about apples to apples. I already know I can't exhaust any more energy over there
because you see that guy as an orange and you see this guy as an apple.
Yeah.
So we can't compare anymore.
Yeah, and you just don't like him.
And that's fine.
So I mean that I'm okay with that.
I just like I feel like and maybe I'm not as clear as I feel like I've been. I just don't like the way Dan Hurley treats people. Yeah. I don't know how he runs his program because I haven't been to practices. I do know how in public he treats people, and it's not very well.
He just seems like a guy that you'd rock with.
There's a lot of things about the way he approaches coaching.
I mean, you're kind of cutthroat.
Philosophically.
Very bottom line.
I can be cutthroat, but I'm not typically mean to people for no reason. Depends on what you mean by mean. I joke a lot. Have you ever thought
the awkward silence you had to? I gave you a chance to autocorrect.
Have you ever thought I've genuinely been mean to you, like that I meant it?
I don't mean me. Like I don't mean me.
No, but I mean I feel like I treat you how I treat a lot of people.
Nah, I'd say that.
Like I think I think the way I treat you, like I'm closer with you than a lot of people, but I think the way I treat you is a fair representation of my personality.
Yeah.
Have I ever genuinely been bad to you?
No.
That's my point. I say some outlandish things. I understand that. Right? But why do you allow me to say those things?
Because I know you care.
There you go. Right? So that's like,
but that's the same thing I'm saying about Hurley.
But I don't do that to people I don't know.
All right.
He acts like that to people. And listen, and he's clearly not joking.
It just takes him a while to wind down after a game.
Ooh, Dan, would you rock with Dan, Shane?
I don't know. I mean, no.
Well, you're sensitive though.
Yeah, I'm sensitive.
AJ's like, yeah, well, good point.
I mean, Austin's a good example. I say crazy things.
It's official.
I say crazy things to Austin too.
Oh, I know. But he's reckless too.
But like, have you ever been like, Ravi's genuinely trying to be hurtful to me?
No. And I think people honestly.
Have you ever said to yourself, man, Ravi's a Richard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's never with like malice intent though, right? I mean,
how do you be a Richard? Then you're not a Richard.
So to bring this actually like full circle to what you're talking about too, if you just take it from the sense of like someone in my position, right? Like I have a lot of different bosses that are ahead of me. You guys, Shane probably could, overrule me at different times. Sasha, obviously, and a couple of other people that are in the office for the different things that I do. If any of them acted like Dan Hurley acted in like the public persona, right? In private settings, I would respond differently to how I would interact with him, like at work, whatever, right? But if that's like his public persona and it's not how he reacts on the personal side, then I really don't have a problem with it, right? Like it's almost more of like a, like an embarrassing parent comment or something. You just like put your head in your hands. You're like, oh no, why would they say that? But then you kind of move on and you move forward with it. I don't think it's like that big of a deal for his program, his team, because they know what he's like inside of their own walls. It's just who he is as a person outside of that.
Yeah, I don't think I genuinely, don't, like I said, I don't really have a problem with the way he runs his program.
You know where I'm ultimately going with this?
Where's that?
Is if somebody's authentic, they get a ton.
They get a ton of leeway.
Whether we like them or not.
True. But if authentically, I don't think
that's where the comparison amongst the like, if you really wanted to land the plane of the cannibalization of our fans and media with coaches, it ultimately, if we're just keeping it a buck and we strip it all away, it's are you authentic or not?
So I think the thing with Hurley, for me, I don't know, because I don't know how people. I think Rhule is very authentic. I don't know if other people disagree.
Yeah, see, that would be a hot take.
That I think Rhule is authentic.
Yep, because I do too.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not sure on that, because I think people might use that word and are just mad about other things.
But I think we're in the minority.
Maybe that's entirely possible. But my problem with Hurley isn't an authenticity thing.
I think he's extremely authentic.
I think I'd actually like Hurley more if I thought the public persona wasn't authentic. If I didn't think he actually treated people like that all the time.
Right? No guesswork to Bolt. No guesswork to Coach Cook, DBK,
Hoiberg.
Coach Hoiberg.
Yeah. Although I feel like I know dramatically less about Coach Hoiberg than I do Coach Rhule. He doesn't give you a ton.
Interesting.
Right? I mean, Hoiberg doesn't give you a lot.
Yeah, but I think you can be afforded that luxury depending on the sport.
Sure.
Because we've seen other guys try it the other way.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have Fred Hoiberg's personality and be the football coach. Well, and be the football coach at Nebraska, I don't think.
No, you couldn't.
Like, you have to be out there more. You just do. Like, I think we've seen guys run into that problem.
Oh yeah.
Like, if
it's quite the dilemma. I like to not perpetuate madness.
Yeah.
So I like to figure out how we can stop it.
You want to know
what I'm explaining is the ultimate problem, right? When it comes to expectations.
You know what I think this can boil down to with the Hurley thing specifically is Matt Davison was our speaker last night at the Jet Awards.
Yeah.
And he told this story about Coach Osborne coming in as he's a true freshman and talking about the things that actually mattered in life versus football, right? And what were the examples? Hey, that person that you see every day at work, like, do you make their life a little bit better? That person that you maybe have only seen once in your life, a flight attendant or somebody that's serving you food at a restaurant or whatever, and did you make their day a little bit better? And when I hear that from a guy like Coach Osborne through Matt Davison retelling the story, and then I look at the number of people who maybe don't work directly with him, right? But he crosses paths with frequently, that he actively probably makes their life worse. That's where I really struggle. The guys that he knows he's impacting, he's probably a lot better to. I get that. The problem is there's going to be a lot of people you encounter as a very public person who you're going to impact their life one way or the other. And I have a hard time believing, from what I've seen him publicly with people he doesn't know, that he doesn't make a lot of those people's lives worse.
Let me ask you something. Why do you think we say blank works if you're winning?
I'm not a big fan of that.
Don't you think we do that a lot?
We do that a lot. We see that a lot in the chat. It happens a lot. Oh, everything's okay if you're winning. It's not. It's not.
Neutron, thoughts?
I enjoy winning, but I think there is obviously a caveat to it's one of those things, right? That you look back on some of the more successful years of especially Nebraska football when it was under Riley and it was under, I guess, the relative success of Frost that, build back the program. And that was the promise I kept being told. When eventually you get to a point, and I the biggest relation I have with this is like that 9-win season with Riley, right? Where they were a top 10 team at one point.
I think they got to 7.
At circumstance, everyone was trying to fight them off and being like, oh yeah, this isn't that great of a team. And then obviously you saw the floor fall out from them the next year. I mean, that's what that looks like, right? That the structure wasn't sound. The things that we're doing inside of the walls were not good, but yet they were winning. And then it set the program back to then get pushed even further back when they made the incorrect coaching hire the next to replace the guy who they thought wasn't the right choice. there does have to be some sort of foundation built. And that's what I think is so funny. So many times that you read in the chat for our show is that so many times people will be like, well, it's easy. You just have to get NFL guys. That's how you know you're a great developer.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great argument, but like, how do you get NFL guys? Because you don't find an 18-year-old and you're like, that's an NFL guy. You have to turn him into that, right?
It's just fascinating because if we want to get out of this cycle, especially the more coaches I talk to or hear about that are at other schools that talk about the predicament that Nebraska football is in with the expectation level versus the results. Like we aren't very consistent. So I think it's hard for coaches sometimes going in. And I know it sounds like, oh, you know, these guys make X amount of money and they should just do, but we don't really hold ourselves accountable like we want to hold other people accountable, because there was this one guy that was coaching early in the 2010s that won a fair amount.
Yeah.
We didn't like that.
No.
We do now.
Yeah, because we're winning a lot less now.
But we didn't like it then.
So we didn't like how he carried himself a lot of the
there
ways.
isn't real consistency.
Yes.
So
that's why I don't believe it when people say that.
So agree or disagree with if you like a guy or not. If you're in the solutions business, we don't seem very consistent if you want to arrive at it. Like, how can we stop perpetuating this?
Here's a really good example.
Do you understand what I'm trying to ask you?
I do. Here's a really good example. I don't particularly love Cignetti's personality either, right? I've been pretty clear about that. I don't think he treats people poorly, though.
I don't know, Chuck.
Right? Like, I have no evidence that Curt Cignetti go ahead.
Cignetti. Shane, before I lose this thought, sorry, bud. Babe. I mean, bud. Sorry, bud.
You're fine.
I say babe for everybody.
No, I know.
Shane, pause. Chuck's comment.
No, we didn't win.
Carry on,
So
Cignetti.
Cignetti's a good example of this. I don't particularly love Cignetti's personality either. I've been clear about that. I don't think he treats people poorly. I've never seen him treat someone poorly. I haven't been around him as closely and as much as Dan Hurley.
Because you wouldn't fanboy with me in Indianapolis.
No, but I saw him in Indianapolis.
Hey, come with me.
Hey, can we? And I was like, DB, I'm struggling here.
You're like, don't touch me. I'm going to the potty.
But like, I watched him after you like kind of had this affinity for him. Like, I watched him operate. I watched him walk around. I don't get the sense that he treats people poorly. I may not love his personality, but that's a guy I can rock with much more than Hurley because I don't think he goes out of his way to treat people badly. Right? Like, that's a very different thing of like two guys whose personalities I may not like equally.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Dan Hurley treats people poorly. And so for me, like, no, the winning's not enough. If you're going to treat people badly, the winning's not enough.
So we've never had this conversation.
Yeah.
Right? This is just flowing.
Yeah.
Trying to grow, whatever. I did not know that you didn't like the whole fill in the blank is cool as long as they're winning.
Oh, I hate that.
Because we've never talked about that.
I hate it.
Is it because of the things that have happened in because I think Bo's a great example. And listen, I'm only bringing up Bo much like
because a lot of people in chat have brought up Bo.
Like you'd reference the 5-star quarterback situation is because we always move the goalposts and we don't really take into fact. We don't like context.
And we don't want to admit the fact that we didn't feel that way at the time when that situation was happening.
It doesn't mean you're stuck in it.
Yeah.
It means you're trying to stop perpetuating it. That's the end game, because you get rid of a lot of the anxiety and the gunk if you just knew we were having the same frame of reference as opposed to some of these straw man arguments.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes it so frustrating on coaches that are here.
100%.
Do you know how, I would love to, I don't have permission. There are anonymous coaches. There are anonymous coaches that in this conference, at least 3 that have said, I don't know how they do it at Nebraska. It's fortunate that we didn't have that here. We just got to do our jobs. I'm not validating them. I'm not explaining away anything. What I'm telling you guys is that's the perception of peers when they look at this job. You don't have to apologize for it or anything else. I'm just giving you
just people who do this for a living
view
this job that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not how we internally view this job.
Yeah.
And two of the programs win quite a bit.
Yeah.
The other is,
a little more up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phantom says, my only joy is winning. Another above that is extra. Anything above, I think he means anything above that is extra bonus. Anything below is failure. Yeah, if your only joy is winning, like I probably don't have a lot in common with you.
Gosh,
I just don't.
I don't want to be disingenuous. I
do too.
There's a part of me that would vibe with that.
Listen,
you know how competitive I am.
I do know how competitive you are. And listen. I don't want anybody to make it seem like I don't want to win, that I don't love winning. You know that about me. You know I'm a competitive guy. You know I want this program and all the programs in the state to succeed more than most people.
I disagree, Captain.
The problem is if the only joy you find in winning, I feel really empty about that.
Yeah.
There's a line in the movie Cool Runnings. Right? This is a good line.
The Jamaican bobsled movie?
It's a great
Ravi.
line. John Candy says it. He goes, a gold medal is a great thing, but if you're not enough with it, if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. That's how I feel about winning. If you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. I care more about life than I do about winning. Now, I feel like if you're good at life, you want to get real honest about everything.
I'm trying.
The reason I want Rhule to succeed so badly is because I want the things that I think matter to result in winning.
Oh, because you rock with.
I rock with the way
what he thinks is. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I rock with the way that he wants to do his business, the way he wants to treat people, the way he wants to go about things. I think those are the things that matter, and I want desperately for those things to translate to winning. And frankly, I don't think we appreciate how far Nebraska has come. That's why I give the context of the bowl drought and how much worse off Nebraska was than we like to remember, because I do think he's won way more given what he walked into than we give credit for.
We can I want to you got to figure, this is kind of your baby, so I don't want to speak for you, but when we talk to Sip in a few minutes, figure out a way to ask him like the whole like, because Captain, this is on the heels of Captain just saying, Nebraska can't beat Iowa and Minnesota doing it his way. Rhule can't.
Yeah.
Like, are we sure we know what his way is? Because I disagree. Because this is just me. So
Sure.
I want other people's opinions on this, just so, again, humor me. I know this pisses you off because maybe I'm right and I'm going to entertain
No, you're
others.
all right. Go
okay.
ahead. Yeah.
Listen, he's got me apologizing for the way I think. That ain't happening again. Now I'm pissed off at myself.
You did it to yourself. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, good point.
And you are starting to be a cat guy.
Shane just chiming in.
Come on, man.
You might be the funniest, stupid person I've ever met.
Don't you mean the funniest, shortest person you ever met?
Yeah, and you're starting to be a cat guy. No, I'm not. I said I would entertain.
I thought you said you were.
Okay, I'm getting distracted.
Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted.
Stay right here.
What were you entertaining? You wanted to
the difference in God, this freaking Shane. The difference in the culture, is it relevant? Like, can we see it bear fruit from going from a guy that says, this is why we came to the Big Ten Conference. We're going to play tough games. It pisses me off sometimes when people doom and gloom to, I don't want to play in a bowl game. It can't be important, though, enough, or can it, until you see the fruits of the labor? Or is your thing, are we seeing the fruits of the labor because they are progressing?
I think
we got to ask somebody else.
Yeah, we do. My argument is we have started to see the fruits of the labor. I'm not saying that the tree is full of the fruit yet. I'm not saying the fruit's ripe yet. I'm saying we went from a dead ass tree to now we are starting to see some blooms. I don't know if those blooms are ever going to turn into the fruit we want or if it's going to taste right. I don't know. I don't know that yet.
All right.
What I do know is that was what's the story in the Bible where Jesus curses the tree and it never bears fruit again?
Yeah.
That's the tree that we had. We had that dead ass tree. All right.
I don't know why I think that's a funny term.
Dead ass is funny. I don't know what.
That's why
it
was birthed like a year ago.
It's funny.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
There's a couple like kind of swear combos that I think are funny. That's one of them. But that's where we were, and that's why I bring up the context of what was inherited. That tree was dead. And now we're starting to see, we got some leaves here, we got some buds over here. Like and listen, I get that that's not enough to eat.
Right.
I understand that. But you will never have anything to eat unless it starts to grow at all. And I don't know if from where we're at is going to get us to where we can eat on a regular basis. I don't know. What I will say is this is the first time there's been leaves on that tree in a decade. And I believe it's heading in the right direction. We got to keep watering it. You got to keep watering the bamboo. You got to keep watering it so it grows.
Got to keep watering the bamboo.
But you have to stay on it. I think this process is longer than we wanted it to be because of the situation that was inherited. That's why I keep bringing that context up. I think it's important to understand. It's easier when there's still leaves on the tree to take it from where it is to being able to eat consistently. It's a lot harder when that tree is dead and you have to either plant a new tree or figure out what kind of fungus killed it so that you can treat it and then start trying to grow fruit. That's the problem that I don't think we fully appreciate.
All right. Take a quick break. I want you have your homework and you only have like a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Because I want to get somebody else's perspective who has a tremendous amount of insight.
Absolutely.
When we talk to Sip.
One Steven Mercutio Sipple.
I'm trying to come up with something better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Steven Mandela Sipple.
Yeah, Sip, big apartheid guy.
No comment. That's TV. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's great. If you remember, the last time we get it every 5 years. So it's 2021 when we were able to host it last time, and that was right when COVID broke. And I was telling the Big Ten people that I remember in the seats, that caution tape that, like if somebody died, they put it around, or a crash or something. So the seats were all wrapped up. Like you couldn't sit in these 3 seats, but you could sit in those 2. And I remember that's how PBA was. And it was just so weird. And it's one of the first times they let people in, and we actually had a crowd, but it was so sporadic, and then all you see is a yellow caution tape all around. So this is really fun for us to be here on a normal year and host this great event, and we're just super excited and proud to have it.
Yeah, I did look at it. I would say maybe 10 days ago. And it looks like there's two, I would say, teams that probably, I'm not going to say they lock it in, but they're really close to locking it in. That would be Indy, and that we get to host next week or this week, and Dallas that we need to play twice. And then I think there's a dogfight of 4 or 5 teams for that spot 3 and 4, and we are right there. Like we've been saying, that's where we need to be. Last third of the season, that's where we want to be, that's where we need to be, and we are here now. Let's see who's going to be able to navigate chaos better in these very, very exciting moments coming up.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Reminding you, give our friends over at NextGen a call, 402-614-9700. You know, DB is going to play in this baseball league. Might need to get a little tune-up before he gets, maybe the wrists aren't in the condition you need him to be for that.
That joker is raggedy.
For the swing, maybe go in there, get some BPC 157, not BPP. BPP tucking? No. BPC 157 and get yourself right so you can dominate that baseball league. Whatever it is that you need to get feeling like the best version of yourself, they've got you covered. 402-614-9700. I believe our friend Steven.
He's here.
What? Steven Mandela Sipple is joining us now here.
Mandela.
Sip, what's going on, buddy?
All right. I'm doing fine. Why has Damon got a baseball bat?
Oh, Ravi brought this for me to check out. I'm playing in an old man's league, and he said this is a really hot bat, and I need all the advantages I can get because I'm old. So
You're playing in an old man's league?
Yeah, Sip. How else can I kick your butt if I don't stay active?
Yeah, good question. That is a good.
So he came up with Mandela, and I said, "Yeah, Sip, big apartheid guy, right?" Like,
why would you say that?
It's all love. It's all love. How are we doing, man? The ticket let you out of jail? Did you use your pay the fine, get out of jail card?
No.
No.
I had a couple things I had to do. I got glasses on because I got pink eye.
Aw.
It shields the pink eye.
Yeah. Well, so you look a little more distinguished.
I do like the glasses. You look good.
Do you feel smart? You look smart.
Yeah, I always feel smart. I do.
I just,
yeah.
We're having this.
Should I tell you a funny Bo Pelini story?
Yeah, talk to me.
Always.
Borderline inappropriate, but you're the one who said apartheid.
Listen, this is non-terrestrial radio. Like,
you can say whatever you want.
People drop expletives.
Oh, yeah, we're fine then. This is inappropriate, but not terribly. It's funny because one time when I was talking to Pelini, he had really good one-liners. This was an example. I said, Bo, I was in the gifted program. Every Wednesday, a bus would come to my school, which was outside Columbus. A bus would take us, a couple of us, into this other school where we participated in a gifted program. And he goes, is that what they told you?
Hey, speaking of which, right on cue. We've been having these conversations. This started about kind of the cannibalism of what happens in the media and with the fan base, with other sports success, and we always bring it back to football, and we want to bring down football to elevate other sports. And kind of where we landed the plane is a lot of it depends on if we like how much grace they get depends on how much we like what they're doing, the manner in which they're doing it. Then we got a little pushback, and it's like, no, just win. Like Hoiberg was a super nice guy, but it didn't really culminate until he started winning. And so we're just having this fascinating conversation. And speaking of Pelini, would it be moving the goalposts for a guy that won a lot, but not enough to fast forward to kind of a very same period where a guy could win an X amount and it still not be enough? Do you think we've learned that lesson?
I think right away people are going to say, well, if Rhule was winning at the clip that Bo won, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? They're not exactly the same, right? I mean, Bo was winning 9 and 10. And what was his? I think his final winning percentage was about right at 700, right?
Can I stop you real quick before your answer?
Yeah.
I didn't pick a number relative to Coach Rhule is because I don't want the goalpost to change, because it moved for Bo, and we only appreciate it because we've won significantly less now. Not good enough for Bo. So I didn't pick a number for Coach Rhule.
So now go back to
Rhule would tell you that 9 wasn't good enough for him either.
Oh, I know. And it wasn't necessarily good enough, period.
Yeah.
So is the question basically how much does it matter if you like what they're doing, and how does that apply to number of wins?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yep.
With this conversation, it largely is what it's about. It's about the end of last season. Those results mattered in people's minds a lot. The last 3 games. I think the optics and the way those transpired, I think it affects this conversation. I mean, come on, it really affects it. So I don't know. I don't know what you do other than win to get out of this. It's hard. And Fred, now, these conversations are all a little nuanced and different. Fred got a lot of grace. He got a lot of grace
for a long time.
Yeah, Ravi, he was 9-51 in the Big Ten. Okay, through 3 years. I mean, that's a lot of grace. Now, some of that is because of the way Fred is. I mean, the likability factor is high, and that affected that conversation quite a bit.
Yeah, I wonder.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, and you brought up with the 9 wasn't enough then. I mean, I think we're a little disingenuous about what type of schedule he was playing versus what the Big Ten is now.
That's what Sean always says, yeah.
Yeah, 9 now is not 9 then, right? Like, that's a big difference. And I think we're really, we are, Sip, and not you, but I think as a fan base, I think we are conveniently forgetful that the starting quarterback did not play in that stretch that we are very upset about over the end of last season. And people on the other side of the ball that were responsible all got fired.
Right. Now, Ravi, hang with me. This is a tricky conversation.
It really is.
A lot of people will use Dylan as a reason why things got sideways, and then they'll come back with what you just said. But if they had him, they would have been better off. You can't have it both ways. I mean, I
actually think both of those things can be true to a certain extent. No, listen. So,
this is fascinating.
So here's why I think both of those things can be true to a certain extent. He was unequivocally the best quarterback on the roster last year, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's true regardless. He also could have had issues in terms of the way he interacted with people and still have been the best quarterback on the roster last year, right? So long-term, maybe it wouldn't have gotten to the heights you wanted it to because of whatever other issues there were. But in the short term of the end of last season, he could have been dramatically helpful in having it not go that way.
Yeah, I mean, Holgorsen is used. I mean, Holgorsen was very, adamant. at the podium this spring that they were going to beat USC if Dylan would have been able to complete that drive. If he would have stayed healthy, completed that drive, he said this conversation is way different because they'd be 7-2 after that, right? Would they've been 7-2 or 8-2, one of the two. And that's what he said. I mean, he said it very in a forthright manner, like matter of fact. And I was kind of like, okay, maybe it would have been, but yeah, it makes sense. It all makes sense to me.
So Sip, we kind of seen like this philosophical shift, and it's not just when the staff takes the podium. I think it was intentional in the hires as well, right? With the personas, the personalities he's brought in the building from Corey Brown, who's all business, little intimidating, G. Wade, pretty intense, Teasley, pretty old school, Coach Manning, a teacher. We know about Arch's delivery and how football he is. Yelk, very much in that same ilk. And we've also seen it at the podium, right? Football answers, just basics like football. Are you cool with kind of the correcting and getting back to what you think is more of the authenticity of Coach Rhule, where it's just about being tough and getting football guys? Are you cool with that in year 4? Because I think some people aren't, and I'm just trying to figure out why we won't let, or what's the issue with fixing mistakes?
I don't know.
Like, what do you think it is?
Well, I think a lot of it is he's made a lot of. It's not like this is his first round of fixes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I think the issue, Damon, is it's another round of fixes.
Yeah.
And I think when it's another round of fixes, it's less convincing. And for me, frankly, it becomes about, and it's usually about, listen, the way I always approach it is right now, these conversations don't matter that much to me because they haven't played anybody. And I don't know what it's going to look like. So what's it look like? What's it look like when they play Ohio? Then I'll start to, okay, let's see what it is here. Until then, it's just a lot of conjecture. I don't really know these guys. You've seen them coach. You get to see practice, and I wish I did. I'd know a lot more. But as far as trying to fix, I laud Matt Rhule. He doesn't stand pat, and I appreciate that about him. Now on the other end of it, you get a little bit, your cynicism grows a little bit because, again, there's been multiple changes. Mm-hmm. How many coordinators have we been through on the defensive side now? It's 3 or 4. It's like, okay, there's a lot. That revolving door at the coach's office is just spinning. So I'd like to see it settle down a little bit.
Can I ask to that point, Sip? Because sometimes I think we lump everything together.
Yeah.
And this isn't, again, the difference between an excuse and an explanation is ownership, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious why you put Tony White's departure in the same discussion as Butler.
I don't necessarily. It's kind of a nuanced discussion. White, listen, I don't. Here's why. I guess my answer is. I read it. I hear it from people how well Tony White did here. He didn't do that well.
No. Hey, hang on.
He did. Hold on. Physically, he did. But come on, that season.
I'm saying the departure. Like you said, the revolving door. I think you don't look at Tony White's situation different than Butler.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, Butler was a straight up fire.
Yeah.
It was. I fired him. That's what that. Tony White wasn't necessarily.
I was just curious. I just wanted clarity on like why you'd bring up like the relevance of how good he was or wasn't.
Well, it's relevant in my mind.
Okay, that's fair.
White. I like Tony, all that, but I think there's a strange conversation that gets perpetuated that he was the answer. He wasn't the answer against UCLA. He wasn't the answer against USC. I mean, they couldn't get stops. So I don't know. And then you saw what Florida State did this year.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Sip, as we kind of have this conversation about the way we process and kind of view coaches, do you have a clip you want to play?
No, not yet. Go ahead.
Okay.
Ask your thing. I'm trying to get Axon Jackson's attention.
There was, there's been a big discussion about whether or not, as DB pointed out with Hoiberg, but like, do you think people would really be happy? Let's say that they got to 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah.
Like, would that actually and that was the ceiling.
Well, that put them in the playoff discussion.
I know, but let's say they get into a 16-team playoff once every 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Like I think that would be highly successful, right? Especially for where they're at right now. And they don't let's say they have a coach, whether it's with Rhule or anybody else, they have a coach whose personality they don't like, and they never get out of the first round. Are we to believe, based on what people are telling me now, that we would actually be happy with that long term? Because somebody in the stat just said, hey, if you sign me up for 8-4 every year, I would happily sign that agreement. And I just don't believe them.
I don't believe it either.
I don't either.
I believe temporarily if Nebraska won 9 or 10 this year and was in the playoff, yeah, it would be met with excitement. And I think just the mindset around the state would change. That would be a huge step. And it can happen. That can happen. And if it happens, you know why it would cause a lot of, joy, and it would spur optimism, because you would have to have beaten some very good teams to get there. You bet you would have to probably beat Indiana, Oregon, or Ohio State, and you'd have to beat Illinois, you'd have to beat Iowa. All of that.
Well, some combination of the aforementioned.
Yeah, think about it. It'd be huge. Now, Ravi, to your point, would that at some point fans naturally and rightfully would want more, and that's okay. But for a 2 or 3 year period, yeah, I think people would take it and be very happy.
Sip, I'm going to play a clip for you. This is from last April in 2025. And I want you to let me know if you see the consistencies in moving in this direction.
Okay.
Anytime a coach here has tried to do anything else but win at Nebraska, they've been asked to leave. And I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. Like, no man can serve 2 masters. We have to win. Everyone cares about everything else when you're not winning. When you win, Tommy Frazier was from where? Okay, I'm saying that no one, you know what I'm saying? So, and I say that I want to mine the state. I think there's good players in the state. Okay,
so when you hear Coach Rhule talk about that and the serving 2 masters and winning, do you see the consistency in the message or no?
What I hear when I hear that, first of all, I totally agree with him. I'm not sure what he means by serving 2 masters, but what I say,
getting caught up in the muckety muck of anything that doesn't have to do with the bottom line.
Okay, what I always say, and listen, I'm 59 years old, and I can't function because I'm so cynical. You can do about anything you want if you win. Virtually anything you want, and you've seen it. You can say about anything you want.
We just had this conversation, and I don't know.
Yeah, you can. Virtually anything you want. If you win 13 games, oh God.
So here's Sip. I think you're right.
That's fascinating.
So I think you're right, but you have to keep winning.
You said I was wrong.
No, so here's where I think you got wrong: is nobody wins at that level forever. And as soon as you stop, all the other stuff comes back to bite you.
So there you go. That's it.
But the reason these conversations are futile is because there's such hypotheticals from where we are right now. So I don't even like to put a number on it. I like to just say, can you do things? Can you act and maneuver within this state any way you want to with enough success? Because we hear 13 and we're like, oh, yeah, I'd sign up for that. We hear 10 and we're like, yeah, I'd sign up for that. The question is does somebody have to operate in a certain space or a certain way for us to be okay with how they're operating? And if the answer is no, just win, then I'm not sure why we waste time critiquing the mannerisms along the way.
I think we critique the mannerisms more when they're losing, and we're much more tolerant when
that's
they're
why I'm playing so that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I tend to. But everything's under a microscope here. I mean, it's still going to be if they're winning at a high level. But I mean, we know this. Partially, this is where our age serves us well. We were still remember how it used to be when you guys were playing, and I remember it because I was a writer, and you would beat a team 56-12, but Missouri's second unit scored, and you guys maybe missed a field goal or something.
Yeah.
Then the next week we'd be like, man, I don't know, they don't have depth like they used to have. Maybe, you know.
Yeah, I remember beating Washington State 35-21.
Yeah,
and people were like, we were reading the headline.
Yeah, you slipping a little. We were always looking for that, Robbie. I mean, Damon, as media corps, we're always looking. Are they slipping?
Yeah.
You know, is this thing tailing off? And lo and behold, it started to tail off, and now it's a much different conversation. It's harder to size up for me in a lot of ways. Although I do simplify all of this. What does it look like on Saturdays? That's how I simplify it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am. In my mind, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I can't speak for everybody. It's complicated, but I know what I look for, and I base law, like when I talk about these assistants I don't know. I ask me at the end of next season what I think of the safety stuff.
Watch your mouth. You start fast forwarding past this crucial season, and people don't like that.
No. I mean, at the end,
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, at the end of the season, like I don't know, we're spinning off here, but I want to say one thing. Barthel. Somebody asked me about EJ Barthel. He gets criticized, not as much anymore. And I said, yeah, because he's been in the program for 3 years, and he's shown over a period his value. It was impossible to say after his first year, this is what EJ Barthel's all about at Nebraska. Now, after 3, I feel comfortable saying he's definitely got some value. I remember talking to him about recruiting Chicago 2 years ago, and he said, "Look, I'm just starting. I'm trying to establish relationships, get to know the lay of the land. How would you judge him at that point?" I didn't. Now, 2 years later, okay, he's doing work, but people don't want to let those situations develop. They want quick analysis it's quick and therefore flawed.
Sip, dead on or delusional?
Okay.
In 2026 with a 12-team playoff, it's never been easier to win.
In 2026, delusional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I just, because I think this is what we've talked ourselves into. With more invites to the party.
Yeah.
We act like the dress code has been simplified.
I think it's harder to win than ever.
I think it's harder to get into the party because we don't know what we're supposed to wear. That's kind of the analogy.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
The party might be bigger,
right?
But what's the damn dress code?
Right. You know, it's a complicated equation right now. How are you going to do it? And yeah, it's complicated.
So, is there anything that you could take away? I'm just going to give you a handful of teams in the playoffs on how you think they handle their expenses. Can you see a correlation between how Miami spends money, how Indiana spends money, or how, like, let's say Oregon spends money? Is there a team that pops out to you and you say, oh, I do it like that, or do you look at where they are and you say, just do that?
I mean, it's hard not to say Indiana because I think they get a lot of bang for what they spend. They just won the national title. I'm with Troy Dan in that just because you have a lot of money, it doesn't guarantee anything. In fact, it's been proven time and again that it doesn't. What his analogy is you spend $1 to get 125. And if you're doing that, you're probably going to hit. So to me, it's still about, you know what, it goes back to basic stuff. Player evaluation. It's still about that. A lot of it, not all of it, obviously. There's a lot that goes into football. That's why we have these shows, because there's a lot to talk about. But player evaluation is still critical. You know, but so is the ability to procure. Like, it's not as simple as saying Nebraska needed to go out and get interior linemen. Yeah, everybody knows that. It's simple to say, but it's not as easy to pull off for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, I think the part of this equation, and DB talks about this a lot, is somebody has to want to take your money.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right? Like there's like that sounds so simple, but it's like somebody has to want to accept the check.
And I get it, Sip. You were Don Juan, you know, in the gifted and talented class, and
yeah, I was
Columbus's finest. So you had all the ladies like knocking at the door. But I mean, I could have saved up all my paperboy money and wanted like the best looking girl in school, and she still got to want to say yes to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's other suitors. I mean, you don't operate in a vacuum, and Nebraska doesn't operate in a vacuum. So it's highly competitive, and yeah,
that sounds like a lot of excuse making.
No, it's not. It's not. There's realities.
Messing with you.
There are realities.
Let me ask you this, because we've been talking a lot about, well, I've been talking a lot about the context in which Nebraska's program was when Matt Rhule took over, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree? The program was in a worse state than most people are willing to admit.
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, Sip, this dude has been on this like you wouldn't believe. I mean, white on rice, stink on blue.
I mean, it's sort of hard to answer because willing to admit is gray. They were bad. I mean, I think we most agree on that. But Ravi, there was this mega facility. Is that thing $155 million? There was sitting there waiting for this new staff. That's a big. I mean, it's one of the nicest facilities for a football team in the world that's sitting right there waiting for you. The completion coincided with their arrival. I mean, the very end of the completion of it. So there's that.
Like this is the hot chick discussion.
And then there's that defense that they walked into wasn't bad. I mean, it was Ty and Nash and
okay, hold on though.
Butler and Sherman. Not just
Ty
and Nash. I hate it when people say it's Ty and Nash. No, I mean Butler's a good player.
Hold on though.
MJ Sherman was good.
Oh Lord. We didn't think a whole lot about those guys before. Like we thought Ty and we weren't real impressed with what Ty and Nash had brought to the table before that.
It took a full year for us to appreciate MJ Sherman. I mean, not that I'm riding with Rob because I can't stand the guy, but I'm just going to throw that in.
No, I got you. It's a valid question, Ravi.
So here's why I ask, because I've done a little research this week, Sip.
Just ask him if it matters first.
Okay, good question. Do you think it matters the either positive or negative level of the situation that is inherited by a head coach?
Yeah, Matt.
Okay, because the research that I found is that I think the only one I found, and I could be wrong, but in my research, the only power conference team that I found had at least a 4-year bowl drought, which is half as long as Nebraska's, by the way, a 4-year bowl drought when they hired a coach after COVID. So 2021 or later, because that feels like a whole different world than everything else.
Okay.
The only one that falls in that category is Kansas.
Okay.
And Leipold was bad year, 2 good years. Now he's back under 500 2 consecutive years.
Okay.
Stanford's new head coach will inherit that position. They've missed 7 bowls in a row.
Okay.
For power conference schools, that's it.
Nebraska, Stanford, and
Kansas.
And Kansas.
As far as I could tell. I may have missed a couple, but we talk about Vandy. They were on a 3-year drought. Indiana was on a 2-year drought. Like the dregs of college football that we talk about in terms of why can't we be Vanderbilt? Why can't we be Indiana? Why can't we be this team and that team? All had more success in recent history than Nebraska had. And I don't think anyone either realizes it or is willing to admit that that's a factor in the progress not happening as quickly as we want it to.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. And I think this relates to this conversation. I do think Rhule, unfortunately, he has to shoulder a lot of the issues that plagued Nebraska long before his arrival. He has to fix it. Now, he not only has to fix it, but a lot of the frustration that fans feel isn't just about Rhule's 3 seasons. It's about what happened many seasons prior to his arrival. And I feel for him in that regard. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's having to carry the burden of baggage that has nothing to do with him.
Exactly. But
you guys, let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, please.
I can empathize, but you realize we are incorporating other people's baggage when we make the distinction on how we want to feel about the job so far. I feel like we're playing, but we feel bad that he has to inherit the baggage, but we're also using the baggage to validate progress.
Yeah. Well, you can do
what I'm saying. Do you?
I think the distinction there is we are putting our frustrations on him for things that he didn't do.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's why I'm here.
And Ravi,
the clarity police.
Yeah, there is clarity in the conversation in my head all the time.
Okay.
A lot of the frustration is just that they wanted progress. They wanted more progress at this point. There just hasn't been there's been progress, Ravi and Damon. There's no doubt about it. It would be unfair to say there's no progress. Come on, there's been a lot of progress. Not enough in the minds of some people.
I'll give it to you in its most caveman, simple, alpha, DB's ultra competitive way. We went from voting to not playing bowl games.
Yeah.
To a guy telling me at the Osborne Complex Center on Saturday, he's annoyed by the schedule talk and it pisses him off because this is exactly why players came to Nebraska, which is to play games like this in the Big Ten.
Right.
Yep. I ran around with a baby chub. I was so excited that players are embracing the challenge versus tucking on schedule talk.
Here's the thing.
Animate about being pissed. And I'm like, that's all I can. That's like, just fight, man. Like, I'm encouraged.
I always say that the conversation outside the building, people blend those conversations too much. Fan media conversation versus coach player. They're oftentimes vastly different. I think a lot of the schedule talk is just that oh God, the schedule's really hard. It's more fan oriented. You as a player, you wouldn't be over there going, God, don't want to play Indiana. This is not going to be good. Don't want to play Ohio State. No, you want to play it. Fans look at it different. They're just often separate conversations that unfortunately we try to blend.
I'm just happy that they're just starting to sound a lot like their coach. It's tough, man. Like, gotta do tough things. You're not very good right now. Get better. Like, they're starting to actually sound a lot like a guy that would you got to grind if you want to work for him.
Yeah. I just hope people are patient, but it's just.
And I know it doesn't feel like it, does it?
Well, not necessarily, but I think that conversation can change if they come out firing pretty well, and then you go win at Michigan State. I think that game's big. If you can go win, I don't care. I know Michigan State's situation. I understand they're not. It's not D'Antonio rolling with Michigan State. I get it, but still, if you get to that, if you can get a win like that, you can start to change the mindset of people pretty fast. And it is results based, so you can change. But right now, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of patience.
I just want them to be because you said something in the very beginning where you're like, these people know what good football looks like, and
yeah,
I want it to look like good football. And Sip, I'm trying really hard, but I'll tell you, because I've been saying this all week. There's just this weird part of me that doesn't want to fast forward through the 2026 season, but wants it to look in such a way where the following year Nebraska gets to play with an old football team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Second year Babalade, Inject Sled, second year Mubanga. Like, now I get it. The quarterback situation, you're going to lose a senior, but you got two guys, depending on in trade, you got guys coming where I'm thinking, could they finally have the stage to be an old football team where the young guys just supplement? They're not getting their teeth kicked in along the way.
That'd be nice.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, but also I understand. I think what people are thinking as you're talking is, okay, that would be great, but you have to win enough to get there.
See, an initial caveat, right? Like, it has to look such a way in 2026.
Yeah. Yeah. Win enough and look a certain way to earn that chance to set up the scenario that you just laid out. And now, then the conversation becomes, well, what is enough? Well,
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're staying in the moment, Sip. Don't you go peeing in my Wheaties.
I won't. You got a bet.
Sip, not violent. Remember, me and you, apartheid. Mandela.
My God.
Sip, we appreciate the time as always, and it's always great to talk to you. And we hope we'll do it again soon.
Good job.
You got a great show, and I appreciate you guys a lot. Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. That is Stephen Montgomery Sipple. I know that's his favorite one. So
I like how he lets us push back and ask, like, so this ain't for fluff. We ain't for internet. I'm like, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I want to figure it out. Despite what some people think, I want to win as bad as anybody.
You're all right.
I just,
They haven't really seen your they will, though. They don't really know that you're a giant Richard head that only likes to win. They hear Kumbaya s'mores, let's just be nice. That's not really you.
Well, you know what's funny is, like, I try really, really hard to, it sounds backwards, right? To people that I don't know and that don't know me, I try to be very, very kind.
Yeah.
Right? Because I understand the context of the way I'm able to talk to you or to Austin or to Rico or to Shane or whoever is very different, because I feel like I've established a relationship with you, and like then I can kind of be myself a little bit. But I really, really try when I am in public and with people I don't know, I try and default to kindness. I really do. And I don't think that necessarily people don't know that, unless I feel like people have met me in person that, like, because, I run into listeners of the show a lot. I feel like that would be reflected in the way that I've interacted with them, because it is important to me to treat people well. Doesn't mean it's not important to me to win, right? Like, those aren't mutually exclusive. Yeah. You don't have to be an asshole to win. And if you think that's true, like, I'm sorry, I would rather try and find another way. That's why I ride with Rhule, is I believe in the way he wants to do things, and I want that way to win. Full stop. Like, I haven't hidden from that. Like, I want the way I think things that matter. Like, I want the things that matter to me to be good enough to win.
Yeah.
That's all.
Does it hurt you to be kind?
No, I enjoy being kind to people. I enjoy being kind.
Ravi?
If I'm mean to you, that means I love you.
Shane,
like, if I'm mean to somebody, that means I care very deeply about that person. I'm not mean to strangers. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Also, Ravi, your point earlier about winning doesn't always last. Clemson football, right? I mean, Dabo's going through it right now.
Yeah, really easy to have his dog and pony show. And
how about the other team that they were supposed to be playing in the championship, Penn State?
Yeah, it's really easy to be. And listen, it's really easy to be condescending and holier than thou Dabo when you're winning natties. And hey, I'm
Another one of your favorites, huh?
I'm still waiting for his retirement papers. He told me the second that players get paid, that he's out. But somehow he's still collecting checks. I don't know. Maybe that. I don't know. It's a little weird to me. But okay.
I think your parents misnamed you.
Why is that? What do you think?
Should have been Rant-y and not Ravi.
Randy?
Rant-y.
Oh, that's not a traditional Indian name.
Little Rant-y.
Listen, I've said this. I said this about Bo Pelini 12 years ago. Is that right? 12? Yeah, 12, 15 years ago. If you're going to act like Bobby Knight, you sure as hell better win like Bobby Knight.
I know you did.
And guess what? When Bobby Knight stopped winning like Bobby Knight, his ass was out of there. Right? Like, I'm not misremembering. That's what happened. Right? Sean Miller didn't get fired for cheating. Sean Miller got fired because he stopped winning.
Yeah.
Right? But guess what? I'd rather not have to deal with that moral conundrum. And I'd like it if guys did things the right way. Maybe I'm asking for too much, DB. Maybe I want too much
pushback from me.
That I want people to do things in a way I think is the right way to act and to win games. If that's asking for too much, I apologize, but that's my goal. I haven't moved the goalpost on that.
Who was more inappropriate today as Shane cues the music, Shane or Austin? This was not a good day for you, Shane.
I thought it was a great day for Austin. There was some real funny stuff in there.
No.
There was some real funny stuff in there.
No.
I just can't wait for the potato salad with raisins in it as a wedding.
But you basically never met a raisin you didn't like, right, AJ?
That's the whitest food I could think of, potato salad with raisins.
Did you not hear the tuna medley he made?
Oh, no, I did. I caught the live show the first time when he was cooking tuna in the company microwave.
Wow.
About to do it again.
At least nobody's here today.
Wait, you have some left still?
Oh, they made a 9x13.
I'm the only person eating it again.
You're repurposing 6-day-old tuna?
Oh, you're one to talk?
Oh. My favorite thing is how it didn't get seasoned so that Dr. Fiance could eat it. And she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to eat it. Look how happy he is about it.
Do you secretly slip packets in your pocket to help you out along the way?
Yeah, it's just those little Caesars like toppings ones I use.
Are you the guy?
I keep that thing on me.
Are you the I carry hot?
Stay strapped.
Are you the guy I carry hot sauce around with me all the time, guy?
I used to have it in one of my old offices when I was working in Kearney that I'd have Cholula on me at all times. But
you and Delonte West.
I love Cholula.
I knew a guy in college that took hot sauce with him everywhere.
You never know.
Everywhere.
You never know. Boiled chicken syndrome.
He didn't look like Austin though.
Do you want me to play the music again?
No, you already prematurely ended the show, Shane, so you don't have to double up.
It's the clear stuff. How'd it get there?
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back on Monday for Hurrdat Sports Live. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.